All right, welcome in to episode 15, or I guess episode 1, two-man game, because now we've rebranded. If you're watching this on YouTube or on Spotify, your eyes do not deceive you. I have Dom here in person in my apartment in the office for the first time, first in-person pod with just us two. It's going to be a little different of a dynamic today. So, Dom, how are you? How are you doing? How is Texas treating you?
It's happening. It's happening, guys. I'm here. I'm actually here. Watch. Oh, if you are only listening, I touched him.
Yes.
I'm going through him. I'm doing good. I just flew in today, actually, and I just want to talk basketball. And I want to see the place. I honestly looks great, even better in person.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to be here. So thanks for inviting me into your office for this. First episode of Two Man Game, 15th episode of D&D's Two Man Game.
Yeah. Do you wanna expand? I kind of made a little start at the episode 14 about how we're kind of rebranding. Do you want to kind of go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so I know I brought it up to Damon because a lot of people I share the podcast with think it's a Dungeons and Dragons podcast because D&D. It's not our fault that our name are just two consonants, but yeah, so I suggested two-man game with Damon and Dom, and Damon thought it was good too. And I think the theme song still slaps, so we're keeping the theme song, okay?
Yeah.
And Damon made the awesome graphic, so definitely watch the awesome graphic if you can.
Yeah, I didn't really make it. I just kind of found it and put the words on it, and that was it.
Well, he did the work and he found it.
I did make the logo. I made the logo.
The logo is sick. The logo is sick. I do love the 3 basketballs on the logo, I gotta say. But yeah, so
why are you here in Austin? Why?
I'm here for a wedding, actually. Okay. So shout out Mickey. Shout out Mickey and Kyle.
Podcast, weddings.
What's up?
That's a theme of this podcast.
That is, yeah. Oh, weddings. Yeah. That's funny. Hey, we're love's in the air. What can we say? But yeah, so I'm here in town for a week for a wedding. Very excited to be here for that. See friends and family too.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
And do this as well. This was just an idea. And then we were like, we have to do it.
We have to do it.
We have to. There's no way we can't do it.
I mean, it's like just around the time that we would do a podcast anyways. You're in town.
Yeah.
I went and picked up this Yeti microphone because normally we both have like headphones on, and that wasn't going to work for something like this.
No, absolutely not.
You brought me this Russell Westbrook H-Town like 2019 City jersey, which I really like, and the jersey this year says H-Town. It doesn't look like this, but it does say
H-Town. It does. I do love the baby blue. I do miss. This was probably my favorite City jersey from Houston in a while. We're actually going to talk City jerseys later.
Yes,
and we'll get more into that. Sure. But I have a funny story. I've had this in my house for about almost 2 years now because it was on sale when Westbrook went to the Wizards. That's how long ago this was. He wasn't even a Laker yet when I bought it. And I just kept forgetting it to give it to you.
Haven't you worn this jersey on the podcast?
I did. When we did the tier list for point guards, I wore it.
That's smart. Yeah. That's smart.
So we have matching Westbrook City jerseys.
Yeah, we didn't wear them at the same time because that'd be weird.
Yeah, but so I'm wearing my UCLA Jordan brand hoodie because their basketball season's about to start. So, and I didn't really bring.
He works at UCLA.
I work at UCLA, so it's not like I went to school there, but I work there, and I like working there.
Sponsor of the show.
Sponsor of the show. Also, Panda Express sponsor the show. It's about time they sponsor me.
Yeah. Went to dinner and had the same exact thing almost, except for drinks. Same exact food order though.
For whatever reason, chow mein sounded really good today. It's usually not what I get.
Chow mein.
It's so good.
I don't like the fried rice. I don't think it's very good.
It's their steamed rice, the white steamed rice.
I don't eat white rice.
Well, I do. And the orange chicken, you can't go wrong with the orange chicken. So
orange chicken is a must for sure.
But yeah, so today we're gonna. So one big thing happened in the NBA, and there's a Harden trade. So we're gonna just talk about that briefly. And then just do a little recap of week 2.
Yeah, last time we talked about week 1, kind of overreactions, what we saw. We both went to games, talked about that a little bit. Now we're going to talk about week 2. We're going to talk about the Harden trade, and then, like you mentioned earlier, we'll get into City jerseys, what we thought of those.
Literally on the edge of my seat for that, because I love talking City jerseys.
Something we've done for, we've mentioned this before, but something we've done long before this podcast existed. Texting threads, just like what's going on with this.
It was so fun, and I actually now what's so funny is I have friends that listen to this and they'll tell me you guys got to talk about the City jerseys. So that feels pretty cool. I'm like, hey, we're doing it.
Hey,
we take your suggestions. You can leave comments and stuff in the videos.
And I was telling Dom earlier, like our YouTube video of this had like the most views that we've had in a while, and I don't know if part of it's because the thumbnail is just both of us making silly faces. It's not the old logo; we got the new logo. Probably keep doing that going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into the Harden trade, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's probably that's definitely the biggest thing news wise that's happened, right? So you texted me Harden as a Clipper, and the first, I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but the first thing I wanted to know was what did the Sixers get, right?
Yeah.
So
you want to break down the package, I guess?
Yeah, let's break down the package.
I think.
I kind of know it too.
So the Clippers get James Harden and PJ Tucker.
Yes.
And then the 76ers got Robert Covington, Marcus Morris, Nicholas Batum.
Yes.
One more player that is escaping my brain, I think.
I think that was it.
Okay, maybe that was it.
It was those three,
and then they got the 2028 first round unprotected.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So yeah, for which side do you think you want to tackle first? The Sixers, the Clippers? Obviously, if you haven't been listening to us or following the NBA, as Harden requested a trade in the offseason after they accepted his player option, didn't sign him to a long-term deal like he was promised, I guess. He had the whole thing in China we talked about where he called Daryl Morey a liar. He's never going to play for them again. Twice, yeah. He did it twice. And then, kind of this weird preseason and beginning of the season. He's kind of with the team, not with the team for personal reasons. They hadn't gotten to the point that they did with Ben Simmons where they were fining him and stuff like that. It was kind of murky. And then I don't know, maybe it was Tyrese Maxey had a really good start to the season, one player of the week after the first week.
I saw it.
Maybe they were kind of like, okay, we feel comfortable with this guy. Actually, we will accept this package for, maybe not the greatest top tier players, but someone that can help them win, kind of in the Joel Embiid window.
Yeah, I think I want to tackle the Clippers side of it just because I want to tackle Harden. So Harden wants to be on the Clippers, so he's on the Clippers now, right? So let's think about this. An LA man, exactly. So thinking about it from the Clippers perspective, like, okay, you get someone who can play make. So not something they didn't really have, like Russell Westbrook is a good playmaker, but he's not James Harden level.
Sure. Led the league in assists last year.
Exactly. So, people still tend to forget that. I definitely tend to forget that. But I think, I think it's good. The only really big question I have about this trade for the Clippers is they lost depth. So in the game, since the Harden trade, I've watched a few of their games. They played the Lakers, actually. And I think the depth really it haunted them because
already sticking out.
Yeah, exactly. And they had PJ Tucker play.
At least they don't have injury concerns.
Like, yes. For real, knock on wood. But oh God, I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's mean. But yeah, so that's what got to me. So you're missing 3 rotation players, right? Because I've seen Nick Batum always played when I saw them. Rick Covington. Robert Covington always played when I saw them. And also Marcus Morris Sr. played, even though he hasn't played yet this season. They were rotational players, and they were the 3-and-D guys that they had, and they played often. So you're missing that. So now who do they have?
Philip Petrusev. That's who I was forgetting.
Oh, okay. Oh, Kenyon Martin Jr.
And Kenyon Martin Jr. I was forgetting both of those guys. Yes. So the Sixers traded Philip Petrusev over to the Clippers, and then Kenyon Martin Jr. went to the 76ers Clippers. Yeah. I was I know I'm bringing something. That's former Rocket. Yeah.
I'm glad you checked that because I would have felt terrible if I was like, yep, that was the package. But so from the Clippers perspective, they didn't give up Terrence Mann, which I think was a dub. I think for them, they haven't even come off the bench. Bones Highland has been really good for them. I guess besides that, you have Amir Coffey and Mason Plumlee, but I guess it's a pretty good
Brandon Boston. That guy's on that team, right?
I think so. But so you have a pretty good 9-man rotation. Definitely top heavy. But as long as they stay healthy, they can go pretty far. And I saw a lot Harden will be able to carry the team in the season.
Yeah.
And then Russell Westbrook will do his thing in the postseason, and hopefully no injuries, they could be pretty well. But what do you think? So my thing is I'm just concerned about depth. That's my biggest thing.
I think jumping off the point you were just making, Harden in the regular season, we just mentioned him leading the league in assists. I think that's really important. I think when you have guys like Paul George and Kawhi who have a history of injury, and especially getting to the playoffs, it can be worrisome trying to, they've often are docked for load management throughout the season, and then you have a guy that can kind of carry the weight when that happens, which is good. So they are healthy for the playoffs. I think them being top heavy is correct. However, I feel like the current team they had, if Kawhi or Paul George was injured, it didn't matter anyway because the other pieces just weren't good enough to carry them far like they want to go in the playoffs. So this just adds another guy at the top level. I will say, I don't think I'm as concerned about the depth per se because you mentioned guys like Bones Highland. I think personally, like Russell Westbrook, probably better coming off the bench. I don't know if they'll do that, but you like start Terrence Mann, or PJ Tucker in his stead. We'll see. They got Plumlee playing backup center. Don't love that for the playoffs, especially. We'll kind of see where they do. My biggest concern: there's only one ball. There's only one ball in a basketball team, and James Harden led the league in assists, but most of that, he is a on the ball guy. He does not known for his off ball game. Same thing with Russell Westbrook, and then Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. While they all, small forwards, they are ball dominant players. They're not, off ball shooters. They can, but like they operate the best when they have the ball in their hand. So if you have lineups where you have Westbrook, Harden, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard, it's like, okay, we have to kind of figure out how to work together off the ball, which is not something a lot of those guys have done in their career. So I'm a little worried about that. I do think the spacing will be nice.
Yeah, they can all shoot, which is good. Russell Westbrook is well, he's made some like when they left open, but yeah, definitely not a shooter.
Yeah, and if you have him on the bench and you have like a PJ Tucker or Terrence Mann, then everybody can shoot except for Zubac, if he's out there at the center. So I think I'm really interested. I'm interested to see how it works in the court.
Too, yeah.
I projected the Clippers as the 11 seed. I think we both kind of thought the Harden trade wasn't going to happen. If it did happen, it would have been like a trade deadline thing, and by that point, it's already late in the season. So this is really early, and I think it's good for that. So they can kind of figure out, the kinks as the season goes along. Sure. I think, last year with the Suns trading for Kevin Durant so late in the season, they didn't really have time to figure that out, and then he got like injured as well. So this gives them kind of time to figure it out for the playoffs. I think, if you think about it from the owner Steve Ballmer's perspective, they're opening a new arena next year. That he already invested so much in Kawhi and Paul George when he made the original trade. So like, why not just keep going? Like, and that seems to be what's going on.
And the Clippers got a ton of membership reps calling people to try and get them to buy tickets because it happened to me. I signed up for emails because I want to get like ticket deals, and they kept calling me like, hey, come on, like buy a ticket package. But yeah, so I get that, and bringing another star to the Clippers is definitely going to help with sales, and people want to see James Harden play, especially if they do really well. Mm-hmm. I did check ticket prices after the trade. I was curious. Nothing changed, but I feel like it will once they start playing if they're good and things like that. But let's talk Sixers real quick.
Okay.
So for the Sixers side, I really wanted them to get. I didn't care if they got a star like Harden or All-Star or anything, but I wanted them to get a young piece. At least like Terrence Mann was kind of like, I like him a lot. I would have liked him on that team, but I don't hate that they got three guys, at least two, like so Nick Batum and Robert Covington in particular, that I've seen them play are still pretty good. Like they're like role players, but like you have Tyrese Maxey playing at All-Star level. You got Joel Embiid still playing very well. Tobias Harris is doing his thing. Like without Harden, like they were like 4-1. Like, they were doing just fine. And now you got some more people. They let go Danny Green. Rip. I didn't know that. Yeah, they let him go because they had to make space on the roster.
They traded so many. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully he finds a place because he is a two-time NBA champion.
Mm-hmm. More than that, I think.
3 Spurs, Lakers,
Raptors.
The
Kawhi year.
Danny needs to go. I didn't never realize that. But yeah, so I don't hate it. Maybe I wish they got someone younger.
Sure.
But besides that, like I don't hate it. They also got some draft capital out of that. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think short term it's tough to evaluate. I think you can be happy with what you've seen from Tyrese Maxey. I think in that regard, it can be an addition by subtraction. Tyrese now doesn't have to worry about James Harden coming back and taking some of the ball away from him, because I think he's been operating with the ball so well. It's like the primary ball handler for that team. So that's good, and you can see his development. I mean, he's still really young, like 23, so he has a lot to go. I do know that the people they traded for are pretty much all in expiring contracts, as well as Tobias Harris. So they're going to be freeing up like a max worthy slot this offseason, and they have Maxine and Embiid. So depending on kind of where the free agent market lands, that could be something they're looking at in the future, especially when you consider Daryl Morey as the GM. He is very known for his star moves, so maybe he's kind of thinking ahead of the game in that regard. And maybe this is a year where it's like we develop Maxey and him and Embiid's chemistry. We exit in the second round, but then we sign this guy, and like next year we come back really strong to compete with the Celtics and the Bucks.
That would be awesome, actually. And I think, right now, like the Sixers, I don't think anyone would argue are like the third best team probably in the East looking like right now, especially with the Cavs and their injury woes and whatnot. So I wouldn't hate that for them. How do you think you will compete against like David Lillard, Giannis, Tatum, Brown, Holiday, when it's just Embiid and Maxey, right?
Yeah.
But next year, totally different ball game. So I didn't know that. That's actually that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So I like that for them.
I think the Harden thing is like you get the distraction out of there. Clearly he wasn't going to play for the team, and if he did, it wasn't going to be like peak James Harden. He was probably going to be kind of like when he played for the Rockets and played very badly in first like 10 games of the season, and they traded him. So like if you want to think way back and like, oh man, I wish didn't get to that. Yeah, but at that point, I think the best move was to move on from him. Otherwise, he was just going to walk away in the offseason anyways.
Exactly. So I think at the end of the day, like I'd probably give like a B rating on the trade period, because like maybe you wish both sides got a little bit more out of it, but like it works out kind of for everybody, I think, in the long run, and for both organizations too. I think it just kind of like wipes the slate clean.
Yeah,
a lot. Although, and now at least to me, like Harden to me, he was always like I don't know, ball hog that just wanted to play basketball. Now I'm like, okay, so does he just want to something that'll go in his way? He just wants to leave the team and force his way out.
Yeah, I mean, it happened. He wanted to leave Houston and go to the Nets. He did. He wanted to leave the Nets and go to the Sixers. He did. He wanted to go to the Clippers. He did. 3 teams in a row that didn't work out that he wanted to go to originally. So I don't know. He's from LA, so maybe that is a little better.
Maybe maybe he finds a home here. All basketball is better when everyone that's really good plays, right? So I just want him to play,
right?
No matter how much his game is not like what I prefer to watch or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like basketball is better when people who are good are play.
Yeah,
plain and simple. So
we want to talk about on the court, not off the court.
Exactly. So let's see. They haven't played a game yet. Harden on the roster as a recording of this video. So I know PJ Tucker played some minutes, like I said, but he is a very plug and play, defend.
Saturday, November 4th, by the way. That's when
we're recording,
just in case.
So PJ Tucker played. He just sat in the corner and defended. Like that. He does that everywhere. So definitely can't just throw Harden in, like run these plays and whatnot. But
he has to like ramp up, I guess. He didn't play in the preseason, and he didn't play.
Exactly. Yeah.
He has to get in shape and all that.
Yeah, and Clippers are doing fine. Well, they did lose to the Lakers, but they did beat the Spurs.
Yeah, by like 60.
Yeah, so it's like they'll be fine without that depth and without Harden for like a few games. I don't know the schedule, but I'm sure like it'll be fine. And then once he's ready,
and you don't want to throw him on the court before he's ready.
Exactly.
Especially because like with all the drama he's causing off the court, the worst thing for him could be coming and looking not great immediately.
It's the last thing. It's the last thing anyone wants. Maybe not the Sixers, but it's definitely the last thing like Clippers and Harden wants, right? So yeah, I think that covers that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
We'll keep it updated. About how that's going.
But flipping to LA, from LA to LA.
Lakers.
Yes. Can you update us on your team, the Los Angeles Lakers?
Yeah, I won't spend too much time. So right now, Lakers are 3-3. They have won the games that they should have won, even though it was maybe by a little bit. Well, except today. But I don't blame their ability why they didn't win today. There's been a lot of injury woes right up now. Jared Vanderbilt has not played at all this year yet.
Yeah.
Torian Prince and Rui Hachimura went out right before the Clippers game.
Torian Prince was really good. So
Torian Prince has been very, very good.
Yeah.
And then also after the Clippers game, Gabe Vincent is now out for a few weeks. So, right now we don't have that many rotate. We have 8 people that can rotate. We have rookie players, Maxwell Lewis, Max Christie's good playing minutes. He's playing minutes. He's playing minutes today. Like
Jalen Bishopino, I assume is not playing.
He's injured too. Yeah, so he's injured. We have Colin Castleton and Maxwell Lewis.
Summer League legends.
Yeah. So those are the only other 2. And then we have a free roster spot just because we have a free 15 spot.
Danny Green? Maybe Danny Green can come to the table?
For like 2 weeks, like a 10-day contract. I don't know. But so, Lakers, I'm a little bit worried about them injury-wise. What's crazy is that LeBron, who's 38, is not injured. Like, it's these younger guys that we just signed.
I feel like they tried to have him on the minutes restriction early in the year,
and now
he's like, all right, I guess I'll have to play all the time because no one else will.
I watched today, they played the Magic for the second time this week, and they lost today.
They won last time.
They won last time. Because Jalen Suggs missed a 3 when it went to overtime.
Oh, I do remember that actually.
Yeah. But the Magic are a good team, and the Lakers with missing everybody. When I started watching the game, I didn't see LeBron playing, so I was like, maybe they just sat him out because they're like, I don't think we can win this game.
They just get to the Magic,
which again, like they're a good team. They're young, and they have they're fighting for playoff spot, play-in spot.
Right.
So I wasn't sure, but he did play, and there's only so much you can do without the depth. Also, I know Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis were in they got an early foul trouble today. So, not great. They should have won today. The Magic is a team the Lakers should beat, but without all this wing depth and there's no defenders on the team. So, it's just
not getting the all-star jump from Austin Reeves that everyone seems to want.
Not yet, but there's still time. He has looked a little bit better. He was not looking great in the beginning of the season, but he has looked a little bit better, more like himself. So right now, Lakers are 3-3. The rest of the road trip, we'll see. They're playing Houston. I know they're also going to be playing
matchup. It's a pod matchup right there.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun to talk about. Although, you have a lot of injuries. I don't think I just mentioned that, but we can't look into it too hard. But the schedule is one of the toughest right now in the league. And without the depth,
started off hard. It was like Nuggets, Suns,
and Kings.
Yeah,
So they thankfully beat the Suns because they were without Devin Booker and a game and Bradley Beal game they should have won, which they did.
Played yet. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like they've won the games they should have, except for today. So we'll just see how it goes from here. Hopefully, we get Torian Prince. Rui Hachimura is in concussion protocols, so he could come back by next game. It's just like an in case type thing,
right?
So
don't want to worsen it.
Exactly. So hopefully by the next game he'll be able to play, and that'll help a lot. I know already with depth. So we'll see. That's the Lakers. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are playing out of their minds. Basically, what can I say about that? But 2 people can't win a basketball game.
Yeah. So there's 5 guys in the court, and then you got to rotate other guys in. So
that's how it goes. But what I want to know about are the Houston Rockets.
The Houston Rockets, you say? Well, last time we recorded this podcast, they were 0-3, and now they have back-to-back wins. So sitting at 2-3, yeah, they lost to the Warriors. Steph kind of killed us in the fourth quarter of that game.
Close game. I did see a little bit of that.
Yeah. And then they won their first game of the season. I already don't remember who it was against. I want to say the Grizzlies, but I don't remember if we actually played the Grizzlies or if I'm making that up. But today we played the Kings and we beat the Kings. So I was pretty happy about that.
Was it in Houston or was it in Sacramento?
I have no idea.
Interesting. But do you know Fox played?
He did not play.
Okay.
Aaron Fox did not play. Yeah.
There you go.
He rested. So not as good as you'd want it to be. But yeah, we have 2 wins now. We have had some injuries too. I don't think Cam Whitmore has played in the regular season. Tari Eason hasn't played yet in the regular season either. So that's 2 young guys for us, 2 rotational pieces that are good. I know Amon didn't play today against the Kings. I don't know if he was injured or if he just didn't get any minutes. I haven't looked into it. We have still way too many Dillon Brooks minutes. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's Dillon Brooks. Did you see the clip of Steph Curry like crossing him over twice and making him jump
and
twice?
then doing the Home Alone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was huge. So that's not good. But Fred, I think, has been good for us. I think Şengün is looking like that star caliber, not star. He's not an all-star or anything, but like his offensive game is looking very, very good. And his defense isn't as horrible as it was last year. Jalen Green is kind of doesn't have the ball as much as previous years. I think that's mainly because Fred and Dillon Brooks. The Hornets, that's right. The Hornets, yeah. I watched part of that game too. Yeah, the Hornets are not good, but they won today. But yeah, the Rockets, bounced back after a rough start. Hornets, that's kind of a toss up, but beating the Kings today, good, even though they didn't have their best player. So yeah, we're looking okay. I mean, I don't like the construction of our team. I don't like that. I feel like the purpose of Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks is to enhance our young players.
Yeah.
But instead they're like the primary ball handlers and doing all the things on our team. And that's like if you want to be a contender, you get the guys the ball. But the Rockets don't think they're that, I don't think.
And you're taking away from the development. How are they supposed to get better than the ball?
Right. I don't know if it's Ime Udoka's first year in Houston. I know he was with the Celtics, who were contenders. So I don't know if he's just like give the best players the ball or what. But I do want to see more young guy minutes. And I feel like Fred and Dillon can be more mentory and role models without being so ball dominant.
Gotcha.
So hopefully we start seeing that.
Well, I'm going to a game next Friday. I'm going to be seeing Rockets and Pelicans.
I wasn't invited, by the way.
Yeah, well, you live in Austin, so I'm actually, I didn't even talk about this. I'm going to see Spurs and Raptors tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
With my mom.
I wasn't invited to that either.
Yeah, well, I'm going to hang out with my mom. So so that's gonna be fun.
You could have done like pod content at the game.
That would be insane. That would actually be insane. Try to get interviews with players. Have media badges.
Oh my god.
Have you ever heard a 2-man game with David and Don? What the hell? Okay, so covered Lakers, covered Rockets. The next thing that I think that kind of came out, well, it started yesterday. It was an in-season tournament.
In-season tournament.
So I think we talked about that we like the idea of the in-season tournament.
Makes the regular season more important.
And honestly, so I watched the games yesterday, and they did have like a feel like
playoff vibe.
Yeah, like I watched Nuggets I watched the end of Thunder Warriors, which we'll get to, and then I watched Nuggets and Mavericks, and they both felt like they had to win. Like they both were like fighting the whole time, both games. So
I wanted to watch a lot of in-season tournament, but the courts hurt my eyeballs when I looked at them.
I was just about to ask you about that. So it took some getting used to. I went with we actually watched the Dallas and Denver game at a bar. I went with my girlfriend Maria. Shout out Maria. And I asked her, like, what do you think of the courts? She's like, kind of hurts my eyes. And the thing is, I'm thinking about from a player perspective.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that like just kind of mess with you, like your vision being able to see who's open or not?
I feel like even like the lines, like seeing the 3-point line, like that stuff is hard when the colors are so vibrant.
Yeah, I feel like if it was maybe like all the in-season courts were just black or like just a more neutral color, than the one that really got me was the Bulls red. The Bulls red, I'm like, I could not see what was going on.
I don't remember. I think it was the Pacers. They had like teal.
Yeah,
that teal is so bright.
It was so bright.
And like I'm fine with like they have like the weird font that says Indy or whatever.
Yeah,
like
it actually looks better.
It's based on like the city jersey, I guess.
Yeah.
That we'll talk about later. But yeah, like I feel like that's fine. But like if you're gonna have such a bright color, it should be like the accent color, not the color of the floor.
Yeah, it is a bit much, I think, and I wonder if they'll kind of get some backlash about that, because I do think it's a bit much, especially. Well, I will say at least they didn't correspond the courts with the jersey. So like the Bulls, I'll talk about the Bulls, like their city jersey is black, basically. So thank God it wasn't red. Imagine a red court with a red jersey. It would be like camouflage, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at least they didn't do that. But if it's a lot of these teams have darker city jerseys and the court's dark. So it's like you might just confuse it with the court. You might, So
I saw a thing online. People like they have the in-season trophy or whatever is like in the paint or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I saw people like, okay, but bring back the finals trophy in the half court. I was like, yes, I forgot that was a thing, because now it's just like a little thing on like the bottom of the court or whatever.
Yeah.
I like it in the middle, like mixed in with the logo.
Yeah, I like it too. Also, I mean, like the trophy is the trophy for the in-season tournament, but it is cool, and I think like maybe putting that in the middle instead of making the whole court blue. Yeah,
little things
would it help? Yeah, like you said, I don't mind that like their city logo is the center of the court. I think it's kind of cool if you're gonna, if you're gonna do that, go into it, but don't make the whole court like that color. It does look a bit like, oh, this is a middle school gym type thing, but all I know is we have to deal with it this year. We'll see what happens next year.
I do agree, though, the importance of the game seemed to matter more.
Yeah, and that I want to talk about a little bit about the Warriors Thunder game.
Yes,
so if you didn't watch it, the Warriors and Thunder played in Oklahoma City, and it was a tied game with 16 seconds left, 139 to 139. Okay, without Shea. In regulation, without Shea. Yeah. So no SGA.
Which is crazy. Who's scoring for the Thunder?
And I didn't watch. I think J-Dub was doing a lot of it, and also you know what? Who's Lou Dortz? He had like 29 points. He was going off. Shout out Lou.
Friend of the pod.
We're a friend of the pod, Canadian as well. So tied game. Steph Curry has the ball. Okay. Warriors ball. Steph Curry has the ball. Lou Dortz on him. He's like, okay, he's probably gonna do a step back three. He fakes it, goes to the rim, does a layup. It's kind of above the cylinder. The ball's kind of figuring its way in. Draymond Green goes up, hits the rim, like hard. The ball goes in. So and then it counted right, technically, but the refs blew the whistle and said doesn't count. It's interference. Can't touch the ball when it's above the cylinder. That's just the rule. You can't touch the cylinder or the ball or anything around it. So then the refs talk about it for like 5 minutes. Everyone is getting ready for overtime, and the lead ref comes over and says, actually the basket counts, and that's the end of the game. It's like he just like he wanted to go home.
Because you were watching, right? Were the commentators were they discussing about
the commentators? Were
like, oh, it's basket interference.
Clearly. Yeah, like they were like, as soon as it happened, they were like, that's basket interference. That's not going to count. We're going to get ready for overtime. And then the refs come on, and he says it, and the commentators like, that is wrong. it was so, and the whole. I mean, of course, the crowd booed because it was Oklahoma City. But the thing is like, that was the wrong call. Right. That was It's like if someone got pushed to the ground blatantly and was like, it's not a foul, we're just going to end the game.
And the officiating in that game had already been pretty bad, right?
Yeah, it was there's a lot of foul calling and a lot of just no calls. And it was just not consistent, right? Which is all we want in basketball. Because it can't be perfect. You just want consistent play calling, right?
Yeah.
Or not play calling, but, foul calling. And the end was really upsetting because it just didn't. They just gave it to the team that always wins, Because Oklahoma City fought that whole game without their star player, and they were not rewarded, and they were based on not even a technicality, on a lie. They
just a guy saying, I don't know.
Well, and I don't know if that's what he wanted or
insult, right? Like don't they have like a booth of people that they look at the replay with?
It looked like they were talking about, you don't hear what they're talking about. And
but did they have the headset on like they were talking?
Yeah, they were like all consulting everything, and then the guy just came over and said, yeah, the basket counts. Anyways, if you missed it, I implore you to watch it, make your own decision, and then agree with me because I'm right. But it makes
basketball.
Watch basketball. It just makes me sad. I'm like, it should have just went to overtime, because then you really would have seen who won. Like, that was not. Draymond knew what he did. Like, he didn't try to argue. He was on the bench like, I messed up. And then they let him win. He's like, oh, we won. Cool.
I'm the best. Never mind.
Yeah, it's so you're rewarding teams that just have like a franchise and like the history behind them. but you're
Yeah.
not rewarding teams that are fighting hard and
without their best player.
without their best player. And this is one instance, but it was just really upsetting to see. And I know I'm sure other people have talked about this, but I can't let it go because it is an in-season tournament. Like they're out. The Thunder are out.
So when they're out,
They're
that's how
out.
it works.
That's how it works.
You lose
Yeah.
in group stage and you're done.
I'm pretty sure it's like a 1-game elimination type thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is why it feels so like important.
Huh. I
Yes.
thought it was like you have this many matchups and whoever wins the most, like out of that group or something like that. Because like I know the in-season tournament, it only adds one extra game if you're in the championship. So like there's other group stage games, but they still have to play, and it still counts as their record. But it doesn't count in the in-season tournament anymore.
Okay, you're probably right, but it still matters.
It matters. I mean, nothing matters. Any game,
No,
even any game matters.
The more it goes on, the more we'll understand it. But as my understanding is that they will play everyone in the group. But the thing is, like, to beat the Warriors is in the group. They're probably the favorite in that group, right? So it's like, an important thing. And now they, based on technicality, not even that, just like I said, a lie.
Bad call.
They lose. So yeah, that's all I want to talk about. That I didn't want to go into it too much, but you should watch the clip, make a decision for yourself.
So we didn't get that young team upset over a team with star players, but we did get another one that I know you wanted to talk about as well.
We did. So I really wanted to. I watched this whole game, and so Spurs, San Antonio Spurs,
Wembanyama. He's God.
Phoenix Suns. Yeah. So they played.
They played twice, by the way. So
they played twice, right? Yeah. So the first game, they were down by 20 a lot of the game.
Yeah. I stopped watching this. It looked like a blowout.
Yeah, a lot of people probably turned it off. I just had it on because I was watching the game. I was reading. I was just doing stuff. I had the game on. Slowly, Spurs made a comeback. Slowly getting there, and I was like, it's probably one of those fake runs. Like Suns will turn it up, and then they'll go ahead. They never did. So. Another controversial thing. So the game is the Spurs are down by 2, I believe, or 1.
1, I think.
The Spurs are down by 1, and they the Phoenix inbounds the play, and then Keldon Johnson steals the ball, makes a layup. Controversial because Kevin Durant got fouled, maybe. No foul was called. He got hit. I watched it live, and I just thought the way Kevin Durant acted was very apathetic and just like, I'm the star. Why I'm not? Basically, Keldon Johnson took the ball from him. He said, "Hey, you hit me." Didn't move. Keldon Johnson went and made a layup. It's like, although he was contested by someone at the
whoever
rim.
Inbounded the ball, probably.
What's up?
Whoever inbounded the ball.
Yeah, I forgot who it was, but I was like, why did he give up on the play? If he just played defense, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
he just gave up. Guy. I'm like, why do you think it's okay just to give up if the ball, even though maybe if you did get fouled, why are you stopping to play basketball? So all I want to say is that's an instance where the young team fought harder and they won,
Yeah, and even if he did get fouled, we kind of talked about this off air, but you shouldn't be in a situation if you're trying to contend to a title to almost lose to a team that has the number 1 overall pick because they're so bad.
Yeah, even without Devin Booker and Bradley Beal on the court, like the Suns have proven
that's a game you're supposed to win.
You're supposed to, exactly. So they were like, you know what? Second game, we're gonna show them who's boss.
Booker's back, baby.
Booker's back. We're gonna blow you out. Except it was the opposite. San Antonio Spurs blew out the
ran
Suns.
over them.
I watched most of the game.
Who were like the primary Spurs guys that?
Dude, I gotta say, Devin Vassell,
yeah,
Keldon Johnson, Victor Wembanyama, all studs.
Yeah.
So cool. Zach Collins doing very well too.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, like, they're just playing like they with something to prove.
Yeah.
And I love that. And the Suns just couldn't make a shot. Like Devin Booker. So the only reason, not the only reason, but the reason why the game was so one-sided is because the first quarter, Spurs made like 40 points. I think it was 45 to 25 of the first quarter. Spurs could not miss. Suns could not make a shot. And then after the first quarter,
it was in Phoenix.
It was in Phoenix.
Just embarrassing them.
Yeah. And then after the first quarter, it was pretty even scoring. Like every quarter, they scored about 30 points each, right? But you're already above ahead by 20. So
Right.
that was a game. And I'm just I was really proud of them, like, to play that way. I know you mentioned this before, kind of about like a young team, like how you would like you're excited for the Spurs. You wish the Rockets kind of had the same
Yeah.
thing to be excited about. So it made me excited for the Spurs. I wasn't, I mean, we had them as a last in our rankings, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know, what can this team do? They're not gonna just lay down and let maybe at the end of the season they'll do like a Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to
Start off
win
kind of hot, and then
Yeah.
actually, what are we doing? We're not
and
supposed to be
cool
like,
off.
wait a minute.
But you know, I like that they're competing and they're really fun to watch. And you know, if you're around the area, definitely go see it. Like I'm excited to go to the game tomorrow. I know you said like the arena was very fun to be in.
It was fun, yeah. The fans love Wemby. We got several times throughout the game we're getting Wemby chants. And I mentioned this before. I don't remember if it was just to you aside or on the pod, but they're playing with a lot of aggressiveness. You know,
Yeah,
they're going out there with some ferocity. They're going out there, like you said, with something to prove, the chip on their shoulder, whatever you want to say. And that's just nice to see, because a lot of times, like, I feel like some of the things that Rockets have suffered in the last couple of years, you know, especially like when Kevin Porter Jr. is on the team, it would be like him and Jalen Green taking turns, like, watch my ISO ball, step back, mid range jumper, like, look how good I am. It's like, or I feel like the Spurs are playing team basketball and they're playing to win, and
absolutely.
that's great to see. And you know, it could be some of the guys they have. Of course, they have legendary coach Greg Popovich. Could be a reason for that too. But yeah, I enjoy seeing that for sure.
Yeah. So that was you know, cool to see. Also,
Move on to another young team.
yeah, I was proud. I watched the Portland Trailblazers come back and beat the Pistons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're without Anthony Simons right now, and you know, it was actually nice to see DeAndre Ayton actually. He put up really high rebound numbers in one of the games. He got 23 rebounds in a game. It wasn't that one, but it was a different one where they came back and won.
Dominating.
I think it was. I don't think it was Grizzlies, although it makes sense because they don't have a center. And then they came back and beat the Pistons. They were down. Shaden Sharp looked great. He led that comeback, which is very cool to see. Another young player who's doing really well.
Looked really good without Anthony Simons being there.
Yeah, you know, I didn't see Scoot. I think he was sitting out that game.
And I did want to. Are you done with that Pistons team?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to touch on. I had this somewhere else in my notes. So I'll go ahead and hit it now since we're on the Blazers. They're bad, but they're supposed to be bad. But I do think Shaden Sharp, like you mentioned, has been really good. They also had to come back to go into overtime against the Grizzlies. And I don't know if you saw this play, but it was, I don't remember who it was. May have been Bane. Somebody at the end of regulation was shooting a three, and Shaden Sharp did like a step and then leaped super high. And he's super athletic. And like he wasn't from the paint, it was from like the wing. Like the shooter was in the corner and he was on the wing. Stepped, jumped, blocked it into the stands for overtime, and then they won in overtime. So
wow,
stuff like that is great to see. I was at home in front of the home crowd too, so like that's, you know, that's going to give those players confidence too, kind of going forward in the season, I think.
Yeah. So you mentioned Grizzlies, Damon. Do you want to update everyone on the Grizzlies real quick?
Yeah. So one of the most difference in our ranking, I think the biggest difference we had in our rankings that we made 2 episodes ago, predicting the standings, I believe you had the Grizzlies as the 6th seed,
yeah.
And I had the Grizzlies as the 11th seed. And I said, this is a controversy. This is a hot take. 11 seed, like that's like, I don't think people think the Grizzlies are going to be this bad. But my theory was, you know, they're gonna be missing guys. They're gonna call it a season, you know, off. They're gonna develop some young guys and then come back strong next season. I may have been too high at 11. They haven't won.
We need to add 11 plus 6. It would have been the 17th seed.
Yeah,
that's what it is in the West.
Yeah, they're 0-7.
Yeah,
without Ja, I mean their playmaking is struggling. You know, Marcus Smart, Desmond Bane, neither are like super playmaking type guards. They're more scoring, of course. And then without Steven Adams, Brandon Clark in the front court, they just can't rebound. That's like one of Jaren Jackson's biggest flaws. The big man, he's not a great rebounder, good defender, good shot blocker, and then his offensive game is obviously very dynamic. But they can't rebound and they can't play make. Those 2 things are very important in basketball. Even the game they lost against the Blazers, I think like Bane had like 33 and Jaren Jackson had 30, and they still lost. I was like, that's exactly what you want from those guys, but there's not enough around them right now. So hopefully, when Ja comes back, things will start looking up. But missing Adams for the season, I don't know what the timeline on Brandon Clark, because he tore his ACL last year. I don't know what his timeline is. But they're running Xavier Tillman and Santi Aldama and David Roddy and Kenny Lofton. Like the guys are not going to get the job done. So not a lot looking good for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, 0-7, only team right now that's still winless, which is a little crazy, and we'll see what happens when Ja gets back.
The 15th seed, the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah. I think we should update on a few other teams. I think kind of like
go fast. Sure.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the Hornets. They have not looked good this season. I have not watched a lot of Hornets, to be candid. But when I check in and look at stats and stuff, they haven't looked very good. Actually, today they beat the Pacers by 1, so they got to win today. But Brandon Miller, I think, has looked surprisingly good from the clips I've seen and stuff I've kind of dug into. I know kind of people are like Wemby, Scoot, like, oh, they're so awesome, and like Brandon Miller's matched in between, and he had kind of a disappointing summer league. So people were a little worried coming in, but I think so far he's kind of lived up. One of the only players I think doing stuff on both ends for that team, because they give up a lot of points because they don't have a lot of defense. I think he's one of their better wing defenders, and then he's very athletic. So playing with a guy like LaMelo is good for rim running and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I definitely think like the reason why maybe people aren't talking about him is because he's not flashy. I think the only highlight I've seen is he did like a fast break dunk, and makes sense. But all these other players have so much hype around them and have like a little bit of flashiness to them. So I'm glad that Brandon Miller's just playing ball and just doing his job. And it's good to see that he's doing well. In that system, and I'm sure he'll figure out his way with how he fits in with LaMelo and more like the way they play.
Another bad team I kind of wanted to provide a quick update about was the Wizards, because I watched this game where they started Kyle Kuzma at center.
What
they had like Jordan Poole, Tyus Jones, and then they had like Corey Kispert, Denny Avdia, Kyle Kuzma. That was their starting 5, and they got destroyed. They were playing the Celtics, and they were down by like 40 in the second quarter. It was like, oh my god, I think they only ended up losing by like 18 or something. But immediately it was like, this team, like I think we both had them at 15. I understand why. I don't know how they're supposed to do anything. Jordan Poole shoots everything.
They just don't have a direction right now, and it's tough to kind of like get into, but
when you blow it up, you want to have like a blue chip prospect built around. They don't really have that guy.
Yeah, so maybe this is the year they try to cash in on that. But you mentioned the Celtics. Celtics have been playing out of their minds.
The only undefeated team in the NBA
still undefeated. Yeah, Mavericks lost yesterday. You're right. Yeah. But they've been looking. Drew Holiday looks great. With Porzingis looks great.
Yeah, I think they're both fitting in very well.
You put this in the notes. They beat the Pacers by 51.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
I want to say they were Halliburton-less.
They were.
Okay.
Tyrese Halliburton did not play that game, and everyone knows he scores at least 51 points a game.
True.
So.
So missing your best player, but 51, and you still have a team of NBA players. 51's crazy.
Yeah, so it's crazy. So Celtics look great. Bucks have been having some struggles, although Dame did come clutch against who did they play? They were playing somebody, and he just scored 10 points in like the last couple of minutes.
It's my clutch player of the year pick.
That is a great.
That's his name.
But we expected them to be doing a little bit more better. The Atlanta Hawks beat them by 20, and I watched the game a little bit, not just the highlights, but like some plays, and Dame couldn't make a shot, and they shut him down, and the role players weren't making shots, and the Hawks were making everything. Bogdanovich was making everything. Jalen Johnson was making shots. He looks really good for the Hawks.
I came in the last episode and I was like, what's going on? These guys are 0-2. They lost to the Wizards, and they lost to something else that was really bad. The Hornets, I think.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is a terrible. Like I predicted them to be 15 and 14, and you
Yeah.
lost to both of them already. That's really bad. And they had good wins over the Bucks. You mentioned over some other team. I want to say the Heat maybe. And you mentioned Jalen Johnson. He's looking very good. That's making the John Collins trade look better. I think one of the addition by subtraction things.
Yeah.
We have this guy that we think is going to be the guy. So we are okay with freeing up those minutes for Jalen Johnson by getting rid of John Collins. Yeah, they have surprised me. 'Cause the last episode we talked like this team is not doing as good as I think I had them as the 5 seed. I think you had them as like the 6 seed maybe. So we had them,
Yeah.
pretty up there in our rankings, and they started off losing to bad teams, and we were kind of confused, but they've really turned it around as of late.
Yeah, they're pulling it together. Quinn Snyder's a great coach too, so I think they're figuring out their system with everybody, and Onyeka Kongwu, Clint Capella are doing their thing down low, so it's working out.
Oh, they had the monster. They had to come back against the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves collapsed. Like the Timberwolves were up by like 40. I'm gonna pull up the stats for this game. While I do that, can you talk about the Timberwolves?
Yeah, let me talk about the Wolves real quick. So the Timberwolves haven't been looking super good. They're 1-2 right now. Anthony Edwards is looking good. Everyone else doesn't
Oh,
really.
this is an old record. I think the record's different now. But look at the box score here. So Timberwolves 42-37 in the first half. Hawks 35-25. So at halftime they're up 19. And then they got outscored 19-38 in the third quarter, and then 15-29 in the fourth quarter.
They literally just they scored double. They like flipped.
Up 20 at halftime and lost by 20.
That's actually crazy. Yeah, Timberwolves aren't looking good. I actually haven't watched a lot, so I don't know how much to comment, but I think they're like 2-2 now, probably.
They're okay. They're one of the more confusing teams in the league because they have some bad losses. They lost the Raptors in overtime, if I'm not mistaken. They lost that really bad comeback win that the Hawks had, but they beat the Nuggets.
Right. The only team to beat the Nuggets.
Only team that beat the Nuggets. Nuggets, like pretty much their whole team struggled that game. Otherwise, the Nuggets have been awesome. They also.
I take it back. Timberwolves are doing great. They're 3-2. They beat the Jazz by 30.
Yes, so like they had some bad losses, then they had some good wins. I think them and the Hawks are like the two most confusing teams to me right now because they've had, like I said, bad losses to teams you should beat and good wins over teams that you probably shouldn't beat.
Yeah,
so I've been confused on them.
I think what I've seen a lot of these teams that shouldn't be losing are losing. They're just not like for whatever reason that game they're not making their shots. For whatever reason, like something is not as efficient as it usually is, and then they lose. And then when they're back to their normal selves, then they're beating teams like the Jazz by 30,
Yeah, I think the Cat Gobert thing hasn't looked great either. I think Ant has been pretty, as good as people kind of want him to be. He had some, I know people complained about this turnover that he had, and then he like ran back in transition, kind of like you mentioned KD earlier, just like watch it happen. He ran after the guy, contested, the guy missed the layup, and then the guy Cat was guarding was just there open because Cat didn't run back, and he dunked it, and people were like, look at Cat, like, oh, he's like, no heart, no whatever, and then other people were like, well, Anthony Edwards had like the really bad turnover that caused that. So
yeah,
still
but
some blame game going on.
Yeah, and you never want to see that. It doesn't matter. You're on a team, doesn't matter whose mistake it is. You turn the ball over, I still got your back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because someone else does it, I don't roll my eyes, wait for the play to end on the other side, and then wait to get the ball. You know what I mean? Like, it's not team basketball. So I don't know what they're trying to do. I respect the hell out of Anthony Edwards for doing things like that because he wasn't when he first came to the NBA. Like, I remember a lot of clips of him, like, just lazily like waiting on the wing for the ball, and like I really respect now. One of the reasons why I do like watching him is like he's giving it all.
He's a hustle player.
He's giving his heart out, and I love seeing that. I hate seeing teams not give it their all, like you mentioned, like Cat not doing that. So
and I can jump off of that too.
Yeah, please do.
Hawks, Timberwolves have both been confusing. Another team that I don't think is as confusing, but the lack of heart that you're mentioning, the Knicks. The Knicks are 2-5. And a big reason, like I thought about in the predictions when I predicted the Knicks is like the 4 seed or something. Julius Randle having a really bad season. He had the 3-year span where he was all-star, really bad, all-star. Right now he's really bad. And I am seeing a lot of Julius Randle doing what you're talking about, where He shoots a lazy mid-range shot. They get the rebound. He doesn't even run back on defense. His guy's open. He is playing very bad basketball right now. He's taking really bad shots. He's not finding his teammates like he had been the past couple of years. And the Knicks are off to a pretty bad start because of it. Like I said, 2-5.
Yeah, also who's been not as great for I think more obvious reasons, Cavaliers.
Caps, yeah.
Missing Darius Garland, one of your favorite players to watch. Jared Allen, one of my favorites.
That Darius came back today. I think their game they played today. Jared Allen came back for the in-season game.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm glad they're back, but they missed a lot of time.
They were out for the first 5 games of their season.
And Spida was doing what he could, but this wasn't enough for some of the games. But I think they'll bounce back. Evan Mobley was doing pretty good for what he could do,
Yeah.
But he's still a little skinny. Like I think he's put on some more weight. Like other centers were just kind of bullying him down low.
Yeah, I think without Garland and Allen, they were missing a lot of playmaking and rebounding.
Yeah.
So they're struggling a lot in those games. It was a game where Donovan Mitchell would have 38 and they'd lose because no one else was doing anything on offense. And then defensive wise, when Evan Mobley was the only big down there, the rebounding was a struggle, especially because when they have him and Allen, he usually defends kind of the best perimeter guys. So he was, I guess, taking on. So he's trying to take on that role and the role of like the actual center.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some good teams.
I was just about to say that.
Let's talk about teams that are not confusing at all.
I want to talk about 2 really good teams in the West right now that are Mavericks and Warriors.
Okay.
So Mavericks, Luka, insane. If you ever get a chance to watch Luka Doncic live in the Dallas Mavericks, you please do it.
I watched him at 50 against the Rockets.
Yeah, and we didn't even feel like he made 50.
Didn't even feel like
it was so cool to see. He is just one of the most fun players to watch, and he leaves it all out on the court, and such a great playmaker, rebounder, shooter. I mean, he had some clutch shots. He could be a clutch, 1 or 2.
I want to say I had him for like my number 3 on that. And you had him number 3 in your MVP, and right now that is looking like a very good take.
They're 4-1 right now, so they were undefeated for a while. Lost to the Nuggets yesterday. Very good game, like I said.
Champion Nuggets. So,
and I mean, let's just get this out of the way. Nuggets are OP.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the Nuggets for 2 seconds. The Nuggets are awesome.
Okay, done.
The end.
So Mavericks, it was a close game, it was a good game, but the Nuggets always do this thing where like Mavericks are looking good, they get within like 8, 7, and the Nuggets take a timeout. They're like, let's do this so we can get ahead by 10, just make 10 quick points, and they come out, make 10 quick points, and it's a 17-point game again. So Nuggets are very good. But the Mavericks, so Kyrie wasn't playing for a lot of the beginning of the season. Luka was carrying that team, and we brought up an interesting point, I think, last podcast. Without Luka, like, are the Mavericks like a 15th seed?
Are they the worst team in the entire NBA?
And the thing is, maybe, because Luka he's doing it all. Grant Williams is doing really well for them. Tim Hardaway Jr. is doing well, but without Luka, they're just not able to just get the ball moving.
Averaging 34, 10, and 9 right now.
That's some MVP stats right there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, love to see that for the Mavericks. Warriors. So even though I knocked on them earlier, it's not their fault about like the officiating for like the Thunder game.
Right.
I just want good basketball, right? So like an overtime game in season tournament would be awesome.
Right.
But they're looking great. Steph Curry, still crazy.
I mean, like I feel like Steph has always been this elite player, but as he's getting older, I feel like we haven't talked about it as much. This season, he's coming out like MVP Steph Curry.
Yeah,
he's playing out of his mind.
And they also didn't have Draymond for the first couple of games too, and I think they're 4-1 or 5-1 right now.
They played some bad teams like the Rockets.
Yeah, but that was like one of the closest games they played too, which is crazy. So Chris Paul's looking good for them. Coming off the bench, and
I am happy that he has fit into their system, and I think there's a little bit of worry for who Chris Paul is. He's never come off the bench in his life, so asking Hall of Fame top 5 point guard of all time, hey, you're going to come off the bench. I feel like there was worry like that because of who he is that would have been created some drama or something. But so far, so good. I think he just wants to win the ring, and if that's the best thing for it.
Yeah, I respect that. I really do.
I want to touch on
2 other teams.
I want to touch on three teams, I guess. One
Take it away.
we briefly talked about, the Bucks.
Yeah.
We talked about them a little bit. Dame had 6 that game last
Mhm.
weekend. Like that's like one of the worst games of his career. But other than that, he's looked very good. I think them and the other team I wanted to talk about, Miami, the Heat. Without their stars, these guys have a lot to worry about. You talked about earlier the Clippers are worried about their depth. I am so worried about the Bucks and Heat depth. They got nobody on their team.
Come on, Pat Connaughton, dude.
Pat Connaughton, of course.
Come on.
I think Jimmy Butler rested against the Timberwolves and they lost that game. So it's just like they need they not only they need them to play, they have to have like star games. Otherwise, they're doomed because they're not going to get it from anyone else in their team.
Yeah, I mean they barely beat was it like the Raptors in the first games by like 1 point. Jimmy sat out against the Wolves.
Pistons.
The Pistons by 1 point. Jalen Duren stud. Okay, moving past.
So
that.
good.
So yeah, no, I agree with you there. It makes me a little scared. That's why like the Celtics are looking really good.
Mhm.
Nuggets are looking really good. Like kind of look like the top 2 teams right now in the league. Bucks with the trade, I knew they were sacrificing defense. Didn't really recognize how much they were sacrificing depth. I think they'll figure it out. I think they'll do good in the regular season. I'm a little worried about the postseason, though.
And Middleton's been on a minutes restriction too, coming off an injury.
That's probably what it is too, not helping. He, on the other hand, I mean, the Heat are so funny because last year I wrote them off. They made it to the finals.
But
the thing is, they did lose pieces, right?
Bruce and Vincent, those two of their top 6, 7 playoff guys.
Yeah, but they still have Caleb Martin.
They still have Caleb Martin, who almost won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, which would have been insane.
That would have been insane. But yeah, you can't expect the teams like them to go far in the postseason if you have to need like a 30-point, 40-point game from your stars, right?
Yeah.
Last thing I want to touch on before we get to these jerseys, because I am thrilled to talk about these jerseys. We haven't really talked about the Sacramento Kings.
Yes.
I think we mentioned them a little bit, but Kings are looking good. Kings are looking really good like they did last year. Fox has sat out a game or two.
He sat out today against the Rockets. I don't know what other game.
He also sat out against not against the Lakers, but against the Warriors.
When he's played, he's looked very good.
Yeah. Also another game, the Warriors Clay called game. They were down by 1 and Clay made it.
And even without, I think, De'Aaron, they've been relatively competitive in all their games.
Very.
One of the only teams, because we talked about the Wolves, the Hawks, teams that have been confusing, the Cavs, the Knicks. I feel like the Kings, all their games are close and competitive, regardless of who's playing, which I guess is a good thing.
Yeah. Also, funny, I saw this yesterday too. All the Warriors games have also been very, very close. Decided within I think 5 points, at least 10 points, all of them, which is really close for all these games, even though they have been playing easier opponents. But back to the Kings, I do they seem very balanced. Sabonis has been looking great. Keegan Murray, Davion Mitchell was making corner threes when I watched them. I was like, okay, that's Malik Monk looking great.
Love Malik Monk, 6th man of the year.
6th man of the year. I should have put him on my 6th man of the year. Dang, I forgot about him. Never forget about Malik Monk.
Harrison Barnes has been better than I think he was in the playoffs. When he had struggles in that series against the Warriors.
Yeah. So they make me excited. I don't think they're 3 seeded, but they're really good, and I'm excited to see what else they do. Hopefully, De'Aaron doesn't miss too much more time.
Yeah.
Because like I say for all teams, it's just better when all your players are playing.
Better when the guys are out there that make your team good.
Yeah. So is it time?
It's time to delve into.
I'm so ready for this. I'm so excited.
All right. We're going to talk about city jerseys here. If you haven't seen them, go look at them. I'm sure you can find several articles online that have all the jerseys, pictures of the jerseys, players in the jerseys, whatever. We're going to go through kind of like we did for our players. Excuse me. Let me share my screen here.
And while he's sharing the screen, I just want to go over real quick how we're going to do this. So as opposed to team ranking and player ranking, this is really going to be just aesthetics, and it's not about the teams at all.
Not about the basketball.
It is not. This is going to be just about looks.
And because of that, if you
can you explain the tiers that
I'm gonna explain the tiers
selected here?
I created the tiers. So if you can watch this portion, I say watch it so you can see
on
the
YouTube or Spotify. We got the
jerseys. Exactly. So the tiers are S tier, which is perfect jersey. It's a perfect jersey.
Sure.
I would love to see it all the time.
Yeah.
A tier, very cool and stylish.
Okay.
Looks very it's not perfect, but it's very cool.
Yeah.
B tier, not the best, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, I would wear it, you know. C tier. There's at least one thing I really don't like about this jersey. Like one thing I just can't get over.
Sure.
You know?
Something that
at
least is going to bother your mind every time you look
exactly. It's like I don't want to wear it because at least of this one thing. D tier. This isn't good. It's just not a good
This
jersey.
isn't good.
It's just not a good jersey.
Why was this made?
F tier, the final tier. Whoever designs this needs to be fired.
I should put designed.
Whoever designed this exactly should be fired.
And we have the jerseys pulled off on a separate monitor here, so we'll be kind of going and looking at more detailed pictures, because if you are watching, you may see the jerseys here on the screen, but you kind of can't really see them, and it doesn't have every angle, doesn't have the back. So we have front and back pulled up over here, and we're going to kind of go through and talk about it as well. And yeah, I think we're going to try to come together and make some collective opinions, just like we did with the players. We've both looked at these jersey tiers, or these jerseys rather, and now they're getting bust out in the court, which gives you a little different perspective, I think. They're not great.
Yeah, I will say also, like, so when these first came out, I think it was collectively these are trash.
Yeah.
Collectively, like they're all really, compared to like the last couple of years, it's just been going downhill. But what I do want to say is, so I watched some in-season games, and they're wearing these city jerseys during the in-season games. They look a little bit better on the player, and that's all I can really. I was like, wow, the Nuggets one isn't that bad, but we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Yeah, and I think something that's important too, and I don't know if you agree with this, but as we go through and like we did with the players, these things may move around as the video goes on. Compared to other jerseys, important, I think.
Yeah.
So we don't end up with a ton of D tier, F tier, C tier, because like collectively they're not great, but like compared to them,
I'll take it as a case by case basis.
Okay.
But the thing is,
there's not going to be a lot of perfect jerseys.
Yeah, no, all I'm going to say is there's definitely not a perfect jersey. That's
sure.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
You want to argue something else, I'm going to hear it.
All right.
Okay.
I'm down.
And all right, so I think we're just going to go in alphabetical order.
Yeah,
right?
this one's going to go out. Dom has made a little document here, kind of giving me the pictures, the angles. So yeah, first we're going to do Atlanta. Let's we can talk a little bit about each jersey, just especially if people are listening audio wise. It's like they're like, I have no idea what this thing looks like.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Atlanta, we have a black jersey here, ATL on the front and all lowercase letters, and then a blue stripe, blue trim on the side and around the collars and stuff. I think it's fine. When I look at it, it's not the greatest jersey. It's not the worst jersey. It's not hurting my eyeballs, so that's nice. I love ATL. Like I feel like I've always heard ATL in association with Planet, which I think that's kind of cool. What are your thoughts?
So I like basically everything about this jersey except one glaring detail that I didn't mention.
Yeah.
That the player's last name is under the letter or the number.
Interesting.
You
don't like that?
Hate that.
Interesting.
It is such a amateur thing to have like the number, the name under the number. It's like, oh, they're in the G League. Oh, they are in preseason. No. Summer league. It looks like this is not the Atlanta Hawks, but like the Atlanta G League or like D League team. Like, I absolutely, this is gonna be a thing, but it starts with this one. Every jersey that has the name under the number is at least C tier.
Interesting.
It is so bad, especially seeing it on the player. It looks so bad. I don't understand why. Just flip it, and then it's like an A tier jersey.
I do like. I kind of want to open another tab here.
So Damon's going to pull up something right now just to show me, to try and convince me. But I I'm almost livid.
Well, the thing I want to see that I don't know if I will have access to is the shorts. I feel like shorts are kind of important. Um, I don't know how easy it would be to find a document that just has those together.
You know, I looked and there wasn't one. Like you would have to find everything separate, and
Which is a lot of work.
we didn't do that. And so he's pulling up the Atlanta Hawks shorts right now,
I like the shorts. I do
and
like
the shorts are fine.
All right, I'm not gonna do that for every team though, because that's a lot of work.
But the thing is, the name is under the number on the back.
Yeah, that part doesn't really bother me that much, but I can understand why it bothers you. So if you say C tier is the highest, that's probably where I'd put it. In my head, I was thinking B tier just because I think it's not the best, but pretty cool. I was like,
And I'm like, I know some people were talking about like they hate ATL, just put Atlanta. I don't mind ATL. It's
I
like
like
PHX for Phoenix
yeah.
or HTX for Houston. Like
Yeah.
I get it,
I feel
and
like
that's
people
fine.
call Atlanta the ATL or something like that.
Yeah,
too,
I
which is
just
like,
I cannot. It looks like I don't understand why they did this. And the thing is, when I saw that on the players, it made me hate it even more.
I do hate lift as we fly above the patch at the bottom.
I didn't even
That
see that.
sounds stupid.
That's not good either. But
So C tier.
anyway, so that's C tier.
Okay.
So we're gonna go down. Next is Boston Celtics. So Boston Celtics looks like
Paint a picture for me.
yeah. So it's a cream colored jersey. They don't stray a lot away from classics.
Yeah.
They do very usually simple
Classic
things.
franchise.
So it's green font Boston and the number, green trim. The biggest detail is that the side of the jersey has the classic court design that's in Boston, the parquet court. So what do you think about this jersey looking at it?
Yeah, I think I think back to other Boston jerseys. I think I like this one more. And I think the big reason is it's not as basic. Like I feel like a lot of their jerseys are like, here's white, here's green, that's the jersey. This one, like you said, is cream. It's a little different. I actually like the trim around the numbers and the letter Boston. It's that wood colored court color as well. I think that's a nice touch. The names above the numbers. I got that going for it. The court is a little weird. It's a little weird. I like the intersecting with the green. I feel like that part is cool. The court itself is kind of weird. I'm fine with this jersey. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's horrible.
So I like everything about this jersey except the court.
The court thing. The court thing's a little weird.
Why are you putting wood paneling on a jersey?
It's weird. It's weird.
And
this is one of the things. Again, seeing it on a player probably looks a little worse too.
Exactly. It was going to be like I saw it. It looks, and then I think on the shorts it continues, which also makes it look.
That's definitely worse.
So like if it was just a green side, it'd be basic, but it'd be cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it might be a theme with a lot of this. The reason why I made C tier, there's at least one thing I really don't like about this jersey, because there's one thing that really is bothersome that takes away from like the point of the jersey, you know?
Yeah.
And I think right now, Damon's looking up
I really wanted to see the continuity on the shorts that you mentioned, but I'm having trouble finding a picture of
the shorts.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so we're looking it up right now. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, so we're looking at a picture of Drew Holiday, and yeah, it continues onto the shorts. It says Celtics on the shorts, but it's just it just looks strange. I don't think it looks better on the player, but I just don't like the wood paneling. I think it's a bad idea.
The wood paneling is weird. I would say, I feel like I like the actual jersey more than the Hawks one, but I definitely dislike the wood paneling more than the number thing.
So where do you want to put it?
So then I would just put it in the C tier too.
But I would put in C tier in front of Atlanta Hawks because the name is above the number.
The name's in the right place.
I made my own tier list. Not even kidding. If it had the name under the number, it got pushed to the back.
That's not even crazy.
It is stupid. I will die on this hill. Just put the name above the number. Anyways, next. Brooklyn Nets.
Okay. So I could try to paint you a picture of this Nets jersey.
It's almost impossible.
I don't know how I would do it. Because it is ugly. It is black, I think, is the primary color.
Yep.
Nets is in a kind of a weird, funky font. They've been pairing with this artist and that's Brooklyn based for several years. I think that's the idea of this one as well.
I think it's a different artist.
Different artist
than
okay.
Basquiat. That was the
yes,
one that was really
Basquiat,
weird.
yeah.
This is a different one, but still they are pairing with an artist. That's
pairing
like
with some sort of artist, yeah. And there's just kind of some abstract shapes in dark blue, teal, red, kind of all around the jersey. The name's above the number, so that's great. But
great for me.
I don't like looking at this jersey. I think yeah, I put E instead of F. Oops. I want to hear your thoughts before I rank it.
Again, this jersey doesn't look good on just looking at it. On a player, I think it looks a little bit better, but then again, it does look like
this picture doesn't look real.
But
it is.
Yeah. So the thing about this jersey is, again, it just looks like an amateur jersey. Like someone is wearing it at like a rec.
Yeah, this looks like an intramural basketball team got a personal friend that they knew to make them some jerseys.
Yeah, it just doesn't look good. So like it's not as bad as when we first saw this jersey, we sent it to each other. We're like, what is happening? What is going to happen? So, I want to put it in D. I don't want to put it in F because the thing is like, someone gives me like a Mikal Bridges jersey like this, I'd probably wear it. Like, it's not like,
but that's the player, not the jersey.
Well, even it could, the thing is like, I don't think the jersey, it could be a lot worse is what I'm saying. The name could be below the number.
I hate this jersey.
You want to put an F?
I really don't like it.
Let's put an F. Let's put an F.
I really don't like it.
Again,
there's too much going on.
You're good. I agree with you. I agree with you. Also, like the Nets font is not straight across. It's like
that, and I hated that last year with the Spurs.
Yeah, that was bad. So
I would be sad if I had to play in this jersey.
Yeah.
Except I would be in the NBA, so I guess I wouldn't be that sad.
But there's some worse ones, and we'll get to it, in my opinion.
All right.
But here's one. So next we're going to talk about Charlotte Hornets.
Yes.
So the Charlotte Hornet jersey looks very much like their basic light blue jersey. It says inside of Charlotte, it says Buzz City, which is pretty cool. It has gold trim. It's like a darker teal and then has a lighter blue on the sides. And honestly, this jersey does not look that bad. It just doesn't look interesting is the thing.
Yeah, I feel like for me, this jersey coming off of old jerseys that they had, I think that Charlotte usually had some of the best city jerseys because they were just clean. They always had the pinstripe. They had something interesting going on with it, whether it was the stripe or like sometimes they had like the Hornet kind of high pattern thing going on. This one's just kind of boring in comparison.
Yeah.
And that's kind of disappointing. I feel like the teal jersey and then the lighter teal side is kind of weird. I don't really get that decision either. When I'm looking at our tier list here, where do you think this jersey belongs?
So to me, I would put it in B.
In B?
Yeah, because the thing is, even though it looks kind of bland and basic, is like that doesn't have to be. I'm not comparing it to earlier years. I'm comparing it to this year's.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing it to this year's, compared to the other ones, it's better than the other ones we've looked at so far. Because it's simple, but there's nothing wrong with simple. You know what I mean? In my opinion. And the thing is, like, it looks fine. You can tell no other team wears this color. Like I know it's a Charlotte Hornets.
Sure.
Buzz City's cool. So I'm fine. I like B tier. But what do you think?
To be honest, I was thinking D tier.
I
actually like it.
below?
I actually like it less than those, and I think it's because the court thing doesn't bother me that much. I don't care really at all about the name number thing. I know you're big on that.
What is
I think the actual
right
jersey is worse though. I think the actual I like the Hawks jersey. I really like the colors of it. But you say B tier.
Split the difference, C tier.
Yeah, that's fine.
You can put it on the end if you want. I guess
put it in front of these.
We'll go back to this is crazy to me. That's so funny.
I love
this is like I feel worse about this than like awards or like standings. Like,
How can you disagree with my style?
I know, but I get it. Everyone's different, and I get that. Like, out of all the jerseys so far, definitely rather wear a Hornets jersey than like these. But that's fine. That's just like how it is. But next we're gonna talk about Chicago Bulls.
Chicago, yeah.
What do you think? Paint us a picture of the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, so that won't be too hard. This jersey, basically, it has Chicago down the right side of the front, and then the number on the left side of the front, and then the back is simple name, number, black jersey, red trim, very basic, very, very basic.
I gotta say,
Yeah.
too much space on the front, way too much. Chicago along the right hand side is taking up like,
and then it puts your number in kind of a weird
exactly.
area.
It puts it like it takes Chicago takes up a sixth of the side, and then there's a whole bunch of black space, and then a random number kind of in the middle. And I will say, so I watched the Bulls play in these jerseys. They look better on the player, but they look bad. Like, when they're playing in it does. And this is another one that's like, okay, they're in an amateur league and they're playing like something. It's just I don't hate simple, obviously, but this is not even aesthetically pleasing. Like Chicago along the side, there's another jersey that does a name along the side, and I gotta tell you, we'll get to it, but it just doesn't make sense to me. And there's just so much space. It doesn't look good to me. It's F tier.
Okay. I was thinking D tier. F tier is fine too. I don't think it's. Do you like it more than the Nets jersey? Because I know you talked about the Nets jersey being in D tier.
I think I like it more, but I want you to pick where it should go.
Interesting. Well, you like the Bulls one?
I like the Nets one.
You like the Nets one more than the Bulls one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the name is above the number. I'm going to talk about this for every jersey.
I do think, at least the Nets one, like I think too much is better than
nothing.
This is too little and also bad.
Yeah,
it's simple and bad.
Exactly. Simple and bad. Not like not like the Hornets one where it's like
it's simple.
You're like doing what works, but you're watering it down.
Yeah.
Where Chicago's like, we're gonna do something different and simple. Oh, but
it's not good. Yeah,
it's not good.
I'm okay with that ranking for sure.
Okay, very cool.
Next, Cavaliers.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's
okay.
all you.
So there's a viral video that came out of them unveiling this to the kind of season ticket holders, and there's just like a very funny reaction from the crowd, like what is this jersey? So painting a picture, it's red, kind of a darker like burgundy red, has in gold the land, and then the number kind of off kilter below the land. What I think is pretty cool is the trim around the neck, and then the shoulder has a pretty cool like gold embroidery
design is.
The back has the number, and you guessed it, the name under the number. So here's the thing: I don't hate this jersey as much as I think it got a lot of hate when it came out compared to the other ones, but the name is under the number. It looks so bad to me.
I also like the Cavalier C on the shorts. I think that part is nice.
That does look good, but it doesn't look good? The name under the number.
Okay. Sorry, you can keep going.
I'm just that's all I want to say. How do you feel about this?
To be completely honest with you, especially looking at this picture of Carousel Verde in it, I think it's my favorite jersey so far. I really like the red. I really like how it looks.
It looks good.
It's a nice red. I love like you mentioned, the gold embroidery. I think that looks really good. I like the land. I know that's kind of been their thing for a while. The number, it's not like the land and the number off kilter does not bother me like the Chicago and the number off kilter.
Absolutely not, because it's filling up the space, so it doesn't look strange. Like everything's a little off, but like if it was too even, it would look off. So this is
I do think like looking at this picture, especially of Donovan Mitchell, and maybe it's because he has a number with 2 rather than the DeJounte Murray I was looking at with 1. Does bother me more on this one because the number looks huge on the back. It looks enormous, and then the name below it, I think it does bother me a little more. I would still say this is probably my favorite one so far. So
what do you think?
That means it probably belongs at the front in the C tier, because if there's one thing that I know the number name thing. I can't go higher C tier.
Look, but the thing is, I'm also willing to make concessions. If you want to put in B. If you want to put in B, it's fine. The thing is, it will be at the end of the B tier.
Sure.
Okay.
Do you like the Hornets jersey more than this, just because of the number name thing?
I absolutely do.
That's so interesting.
But then again,
If you're gonna make that
we're doing it
concession,
together.
I can make the Hornets concession. I think.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to put the Nets in D tier? I know you.
No, I'm fine with F tier.
Okay.
That's totally fine. I'm not gonna die on that hill. The Hornets one, I'm like, it is actually kind of sick.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's Cleveland. Cleveland's not as bad, like compared to these other ones that we're gonna get to.
Color.
Yeah, the color looks great. It does pop. It's very Cleveland, and I actually really like it. We're looking at a picture of Karis LeVert with the 1 number on the front. Looks very good. So I like the gold. I think they did a really good,
number 1
job with that. Just put the name above the number.
Put the name above the number.
That's all you have to do.
Jersey designers everywhere. We know you're listening.
Listen to me.
All right. Next, we're moving on to from the Cavs to the Mavs. Yeah, the Mavs jersey is interesting. It's not interesting actually. It's simple. This is me, right? My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's black jersey, blue number, blue trim, gray letters for Mavs and for the player name, which I think is kind of interesting. Yeah, it's very simple. It just says Mavs and then the name on the back. Not a whole lot to hoot and holler, but I do think it's well done, simple. I think it looks nice. I feel like the Mavs hasn't really had a black jersey in a long time.
Yeah.
I like that it's different color wise for that. I know the Mavs have tried different stuff in the past years. They had the graffiti jersey, that was a disaster. They had the Angel jersey, that was a disaster.
Yeah.
So this is simple, but it's nice. I think in terms of simple jersey, we looked at the Hornets one, the Boston one, the Atlanta one. I feel like this is up there for me. I like this one.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think I like the simple. The Mavs font is unique enough. It's not just like Calibri or Times New Roman. I think it's actually the font of the artist Leon Bridges, the singer songwriter.
No.
So that's his signature on the jersey. So that's his kind of font. That
is he Dallas based?
Yeah, he's Dallas based.
Got it.
So I think that's why they use that font,
cool.
which is cool. It fills up the space nicely on the front. The back, the name's above the number. You know me, I love that.
That's perfect for me.
I will say, as a trend with a lot of these, is that this is a black jersey, but it's kind of like a charcoal gray black. And I don't know why so many teams decided to choose this color.
It looks a little more black on the person.
Yeah. But regardless, like I don't know why so many of these teams chose to make so many darker jerseys, but putting that aside, this jersey isn't bad. It's simple, but it gets the point across to Mavericks, who's playing. I kind of feel like into the B tier.
Sure.
Something like that,
I'm okay with that.
It's not the best, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe this tier needs to be renamed to like they didn't screw it up.
That's not bad at all. But we're gonna talk about my least favorite city jersey.
Interesting.
Hands down, my least favorite city jersey.
And who would that be?
This is the Denver Nuggets city jersey, and there's one reason. Okay, if you look at the jersey, you're like, why, Dom? The name is above the number.
There is one thing I really hate about this jersey.
No, and it's the fact that there's other numbers on the jersey. Why? Get rid of the 528. Okay, sorry. It's a black jersey.
Yeah.
The has like the mountains throughout the middle that are blue. It has 5280 on every jersey.
Not fine.
Which is the elevation of Denver.
That's the part I hate.
And the fact is that there's other numbers on there.
Yeah.
Like it's so dumb.
It's also in such a weird place.
It's all they had to do was just have the mountain range in like blue and yellow, and it'd be okay.
Yeah, or even like take the like an elevation meter or something, like like measuring how high you are. Not because the numbers are giant.
When you make a jersey and they are the most identifying factor on a player, and the number is the most important thing, you don't add 4 other numbers.
right in the middle of the
right
jersey.
in the middle and big yellow.
Yeah.
Like you see 5280 before you see the player's number. That is by definition not what a jersey should have on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
this is my least favorite City jersey because it has this. It just
Interesting.
okay. You go, Damon. I can't.
The thing,
I'm getting too
the
emotional.
thing that I don't like is the 5280. That's the thing I was going to point out. I don't get it. I know, like, it's been a thing on their court for several years too. I don't know why it's like the elevation. We must talk about the elevation. I don't really understand. If you are going to talk about the elevation, maybe you don't make it in giant letters in the front of your jersey, like you mentioned. Yeah, so you're saying you're gonna put this at the bottom of the F tier?
This is
I'm okay with that. I don't like this jersey at all. So
this is
I'm
end, this is
definitely
end
okay
of
with
the F tier. I
I-
can't stand looking. I watched them play yesterday against
Yeah.
the Mavericks in it, and it hurt me. It was just like I couldn't tell who was who, like because of the. It's
Oh,
so
that's number
big.
5280. Yes, yes, of course.
Everyone's 50. Why is that guy 5280? Why is this person 5280? It's so bad. Let's go to the next one. Palette cleanser. Who do we have next?
Next, we have the Detroit Pistons. Yeah, the Pistons I feel like are a team that usually does a pretty good job with their jerseys. I know in the past, like last year, they had the really cool throwback jerseys, which were awesome. I think most people like that. This year, it's another black jersey. So you talked about how that's a common theme this year. Name above the number on the back. That's great. The text is in kind of a light gray, has like a red orangish trim on the jersey. Weird little pattern down the side that I don't really get.
I'll tell you what it means.
Okay, and then it says Detroit in like kind of fancy little font on the
Yeah.
front. Another jersey that when I look at it, I think looks pretty simple, but I like it in terms of its simplicity. I think it's right around kind of Dallas Cavs with me.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I view Dallas. Yeah, Dallas Cavs. Yeah, those two teams. Yeah, nothing horribly offensive happening, which is great. Yeah, what are your thoughts? Tell me what that thing means.
Yeah. So I like this jersey quite a bit. Obviously, I don't think it's as flashy as last year was a dark green, and then the year before was the throwback ones with like the with the engines and everything. That one I really liked. I looked at it because I was trying to see if there was a sale because I really wanted to buy that jersey. So that's why I know which one was which year. So I like this one, not as much as the last 2 years. But this is a very cool one. The crossbones on the side are a callback to Detroit Bad Boys when they were the Bad Boys of Detroit in the early 90s.
Yeah. Didn't like that team very much.
I didn't like the team either because it was too aggressive. But you know, it's something unique they're calling back to, and I'm okay with that. Not a fan of like being aggressive and hurting players ever.
Sure.
But I think it's cool to throw back to their identity and you know, kind of like their rough around the edges kind of nature. And I think that team kind of plays like that too. Not to the extent, thankfully. But I like it. You know, orange trim is also very nice. It kind of pops out, and I mean, I like it. It kind of goes up there to me as well, like B tier.
Okay. What do you think on the B tier? Like here?
Yeah, and also I'm cool if you want to put the Hornets jersey towards the back, just because I know you don't love it, but I'm fine with that. Just like a reevaluation.
Yeah, I also thought about moving the Nets one up to what's happening?
Okay, never mind. Okay, so we're gonna go on to the
Were you making sure we're recording?
I was making sure we were recording. That's what I was doing. But we're gonna go on to the next jersey. What's up? Oh, we weren't. Yeah, I was just wanted to make sure. Okay, so we just talked about the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
So who do we have next?
I moved the Nets up, by the way. It's growing on me as we look at all these basic jerseys. I'm like, at least they tried something.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about the
Warriors.
Golden State Warriors.
I feel like they've done black a lot over the past years. Last year they had the awful flower jersey.
That was so
that
bad.
Jersey was ugly, man. That's not I'm looking at different jerseys. Yeah, so the Warriors, they have this jersey. It just says San Francisco. It kind of runs in a weird way up the side, which is interesting. And yeah, it says San Francisco, and then the name. It's below the number on the back. The jersey, by the way, I didn't paint a great picture. It's black with like very vibrant yellow on the trim and on the letters.
Yeah, so something we haven't talked about a lot is the neck area of these jerseys as well.
Yeah.
And
Most
the
of them have been
Warriors,
typical crew neck fashion.
yeah, or V-neck, something very simple.
Yeah.
The Warriors always love to do this wishbone kind of looking collar.
I
and
don't like it.
It looks bad. It's also super uncomfortable. Like I've had to wear this before, and it sucks. And the fact that San Francisco is kind of like off kilter like that, it's supposed to be a callback to like how hilly San Francisco is.
Yeah.
The thing is, it just looks off kilter, and like
It
someone
looked weird.
didn't know how to write it straight across. The name is below the number. This one is not much better than the Denver Nuggets one to me. It's like a little bit above the Denver
Yeah, I don't
one.
like it.
And I saw them. Wait, no, I don't know if I saw them playing it yet. I did see some pictures of them wearing it. It looks terrible.
It has the Chicago thing where it's kind of simple but bad.
Exactly. It's that like, oh, let's just do one thing quirky. Let's just make San Francisco a little, a little like off kilter. But like the thing is like, I just don't think they did a good job of it. It just doesn't look symmetrical enough.
Yeah.
It looks like they have their jersey onto the side and like they put like their neck through their armhole or something. It just doesn't look right.
But there's not really a purpose that I think matters, and I don't think they counterbalanced it with anything
Exactly.
to make it look better. But with that, next is the Rockets. Before we get there, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the Rockets jersey. All right, we are back. Took a little bit of a break there. If you're listening or watching, or you probably just heard, we're going to take a break, and then we're back right after that. But, time has passed in our eyes. Next, we're moving on to Houston. I think it's your turn.
It is my turn. So the Houston Rockets city jersey is white. So white jersey with red trim. Well, so it's red font and lettering, and it has this like light blue that's around it. And it's pretty simple. It says H-Town across the front, kind of at a tilt, and has a number below that. I really like this one. This is actually probably my favorite city jersey. I think it looks very clean, simple, uses the space. It's not just two colors, it has like that third color thrown in there with the light blue.
Yeah.
So I like it quite a bit. It's also a little bit of a throwback to Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, which their signatures are on the jersey. So what do you think?
Yeah, I like H-Town. H-Town, we're from the area. H-Town is a common term people refer to Houston by. I mean, the old city jersey I have says H-Town. They've had plenty of H-Town jerseys. I like the H-Town font as well. I like that the trim is layered, it's not just one. It's like red, white, red again. I think that's nice. So you mentioned the blue trim around the numbers. I didn't even notice that when I first looked at it.
Cool, right?
Yeah, I like that too. It kind of makes it pop a little bit. I think this is the best one I've looked at, I think. And that's not my Rockets bias. That's my visual eyes. And interestingly enough, not a lot of white jerseys this year. It kind of pops out for that reason as well. I'm okay with throwing in the A tier.
I am as well. I also want to mention you should look at the shorts.
Yes.
If you have a chance, it looks like there's a symbol in the shorts. I think it looks pretty cool. I just can't tell what it is.
It looks like an astronaut dunking a ball.
That is awesome. So that's sick. Okay, so definitely A tier at least.
Yeah.
I think this one is definitely my favorite.
It's good. It's a good jersey. I'm glad because the Rockets have been hit or miss over the past couple years.
And last year's wasn't bad. I know you have it hanging up behind us.
That's not the city jersey. That's a throwback jersey.
Oh, the city
jersey was the stripes that don't line up.
That is a little. That's like this. That's like there's one thing I just don't like about.
It's like the jersey itself was fine, but
yeah,
why did you make it that way?
No, I totally agree. But this is a really cool one. I do like the font quite a bit.
I like it. All right. Next, we are on to the Pacers. We talked about earlier the courts, one of the brightest courts on earth. Hard to look at, but the jersey is interesting. It says Indy in this kind of graffiti type font. up on the jersey, and then it has a yellow trim and a like teal trim above the yellow trim. And then the sides, it has kind of the spray painty graffiti. It starts off black and then gets more yellow as you go down the jersey. And then the font style, the numbers is kind of graffiti-esque too. My initial reaction is like, it seems childish, almost a little immature. Kind of a similar issue I've had with Nets jerseys in the past with the Basquiat ones and stuff. I feel like the color scheme and stuff is fine. It's just like the fonts and the execution of it is a little weird. I think indie, I don't even mind that much. It kind of is like word art, which is kind of weird, but the number I think bothers me more. I don't like the number font.
The number font looks like it's crayon. That's why it bothers me. And also the spray paint on the side doesn't look good either. Like
I don't like that part at all.
Like you said, I don't mind the indie. I don't mind the colors. It really is the font of the numbering and then the spray paint on the side. Yeah. Also, doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like, is Indianapolis just graffitied all over? Like that's like
it's like what's the
what are you there? Exactly? What are you trying to say with this? So, where do you think it should go on our tier list?
Hold on, I'm reading. We're inspired by a dark night sky with the neon lights and what's that say? I don't even know what that says. And the something throughout Indianapolis. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know Indianapolis, so.
And the murals throughout Minneapolis. Guess what? Every city has murals.
Every city has murals. Yeah. I feel like Brooklyn makes more sense just because it's such a big city. Yeah, I mean, I look at our thing. I think I definitely like it less than the Nets jersey, which is interesting because I was really hating on the Nets jersey at the start of this. But the graffiti on the side really bothers me in the letters. I feel like our F tier right now is a bunch of really badly executed basic jerseys. I do like the indie. I like the colors. It makes me want to put it at the back of the D tier, but I would understand an F tier argument here as well.
I'm fine behind the D tier because the truth, when you're looking at this, it isn't good. That's we're looking at our.
It's not good.
It's not good. And then maybe the person who designed it shouldn't be fired, but they should put more thought into it. But I'll say that much. I
need to remember that a lot of people are listening to this, so I need to do a better job of. I don't think I said the jersey was black. That's important.
Another black jersey, exactly. Yeah, it's black and it has accented of like the yellow material that you mentioned. Yeah. But yeah, it's just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's just a little uninspiring.
Let's talk about your favorite team now.
We're gonna talk about the Los Angeles Clippers, right? So Clippers jersey is this black. The theme here, a dark gray.
It's like navy blue.
It's not navy blue because
No, look at this. Look at this picture. This is blue.
It just doesn't. But the thing is, it's a picture. It doesn't like.
This is definitely like navy blue.
It looks like charcoal gray to me. Anyway, okay, a bluish gray. Okay, that makes it look blue.
This looks even more blue.
Yeah, that looks even bluer.
This looks very.
This looks like the old Wizards blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it is that blue, okay, so I like a dark blue. Yeah. So I guess it's dark blue. But it doesn't look like dark blue, really, in some of the pictures. Yeah. Anyways, dark blue. It says Clips. Instead of a dot, has like a basketball at the top.
Let's talk about this Clips font. I don't like it.
You don't?
I don't.
I don't mind it.
It's really the P. The P bothers me.
I actually don't mind the font and the lettering. This is actually one of probably the only Clipper City jersey I like in recent years. I've hated their I
really didn't like the off-color red blue. That thing I didn't like.
They had that for 2 years, and then they also had the streets. And number one, when you go to LA, no one talks about the Clippers. So the last thing you talk about is oh, they're from the streets. They're not. So I liked this because they do call them the Clips at the games.
Is this a shout out to San Diego Clippers?
I don't know.
With the
with the blue, that's probably what it is. That's probably what it is. Yeah. And I guess I like that. That's pretty cool. And the thing is about this, it's another one that's simple, right? It's just a single color.
I like the I don't know, what is this green trim?
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, the trim is kind of nice too, or around the neck and the shoulders. So I I don't mind this one that much. I think it's simple.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good simple. So I think to me it's like
going in the B tier.
B tier, yeah.
Going in the B tier. Okay.
But I where do you think it goes in the B tier?
Yeah, I'm fine with B tier. I'm looking at right now. We have Detroit and then Cleveland, then Hornets, then Mavs. I feel like I like it less than all of those, maybe except the Hornets, but the Hornets are up here because you really like the Hornets one.
Yeah, I do.
I really like the Mavs font. The Mavs font is really good.
The Mavs font is cool. I'm cool with that. Yeah, like I said, the Clippers one it's
a good simple.
If
it was a bad simple, it'd be in the F tier.
Absolutely. That's kind of what our criteria is so far. Next, we're going to talk about your favorite team.
My favorite team, huh? The Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, so the Lakers city jersey is interesting. We have Los Angeles, and it's written in kind of a triangle on the front. The jersey itself is black. Los Angeles is written in yellow. And then we have Lakers below the number. So it's like a triangle of Los Angeles, the number in the middle of the triangle, and then Lakers at the bottom of the triangle, essentially. And then the numbers in purple, and then the numbers in purple with the yellow trim, the letters are in yellow with the purple trim. And then the jersey has a double layer of purple, black, purple, kind of like I talked about the Rockets having red, white, red. So yeah, I think aside from the Los Angeles, it's pretty simple. I think having the Lakers on there on the front below the number is kind of weird to me. I feel like it's taking up a lot of that torso space. Everyone knows who the Lakers are. I don't know if you had to put the Lakers on there again.
It's already purple and gold.
It's already purple and gold. Like you mentioned with the Clippers, like the Lakers are the team of that city. I don't think you need both of those things. I think I would like this jersey more if it just said the Lakers above the number and didn't have Los Angeles. I don't like the triangle Los Angeles thing. I'm not a huge fan of it. But other than that, I think the jersey is pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, so it is a really basic kind of jersey. It is also black, which is kind of a theme.
Yeah,
a lot of these. So the triangle Los Angeles did throw me off a lot at the beginning, but then I saw it on the players, and I actually like it on the players.
Interesting.
I do not like Lakers below the number though.
Yeah,
anything below a number doesn't look right.
It's a lot.
Yeah, anything below the number, and that's why a reason why I don't like the name below the number is anything below it doesn't look good. So like Los Angeles, the triangle number, then maybe no Lakers, and to me it'd be like a B tier. But like the way it is now, I mean, I would want to put it in C tier, but I also get like if the triangle really throws you off, you want to put it in D. Like I get it. It is off putting.
I'm fine with C tier. I think I like it less than both of the ones on C tier.
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, the triangle, it's a combination of the triangle with the Lakers. It takes up so much space.
Yeah, it really is the entire front of the jersey. And it is like, oh, we have space, let's just fill it up. It's like the opposite of what the other ones had, like too much empty space.
And why is it a triangle? Do you know?
It's a callback to the original when the Lakers first moved to Los Angeles. Their jerseys were like white and blue, and it had Los Angeles as a triangle like that on their jerseys.
Got it.
So that's why it's like,
so there's some symbolism at least. It's not just like a design choice.
Although I will say, like, I feel like a lot of these jerseys, what I liked about them is that they would pick a different color.
Yeah,
something totally different. Like the Lakers did that recently. Last year was like white and like purple and black, and the year before that was like a light baby blue and white, and I liked that. But this, they do back to purple and gold. I kind of wish they did it like the classic
if it was gonna be a callback.
Yeah, like just do it blue and white. Like that would be, I would imagine this just blue and white would be kind of sick.
Yeah.
Even with a triangle, it would be a little off-putting for some people, but I think it would look a lot better. But yeah, I'm cool with C tier. And next we're going to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. So, it's not good. I'm going to start right there because number one, there's not even letters on the front. And I understand that so it's a black jersey, and instead of saying Memphis MEM, they kind of have it as 3 bars, 3 vertical bars, three vertical, 3 horizontal, then 3 vertical to kind of show like mem
MEM.
Yeah.
It just looks like nothing. It looks like someone. It doesn't like if no one knows what that is. They're just like, why are there 9 lines on this jersey?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like, what are they trying to be? And the color is really dull. It's not like a bright blue or anything. It's like a light grayish blue.
Yeah.
The number is in gold. I find it really uninspired. And I don't think it's a good city jersey. I think it's the Grizzlies always have really good ones, which is a really shame.
They had a couple years in a row where it's like, man, they killed it again, guys.
Yeah, even it's something as simple as like they had such nice trim on like their neck and their shoulder, but this is just it's just uninspired. And they had like the lines on their pants the last couple of years on their shorts. So they're like, oh, let's just put that super big on the jersey. Guess what? No one likes that.
No, I think it looks really bad. Like you said, the MEM is hard to decipher when you first look at it. If you didn't realize you're looking at a Memphis Grizzlies jersey, you'd be like, "What is? How am I supposed to decipher this code?" I think the best part about this jersey is the gold number. I think the gold number is kind of cool.
I think
it looks kind of cool.
I wish the blue was a bit brighter though. You know, the blue is so
it doesn't pop enough. I don't think.
Yeah.
The jersey again, another charcoalish, blackish jersey. It's pretty boring. It's badly executed, simple. So for that logic, I feel like we have to throw it in the F tier because that's where we put all the other bad simple jerseys. I do think it's not as atrocious as the Nuggets one. I actually think it's probably better than all the F tier jerseys, but still an F tier jersey. I think the MEM is not as bad as the side Chicago. I think the side Chicago bothers me more.
I agree because at least if no one knows it's MEM, it's like, oh, that's okay. It's a design choice.
Yeah.
But the reason why it's supposed to mean Memphis, it's not. That's why it's definitely F tier. But it is better than the other ones in F tier.
The Warriors one, the yellow is a little too much with like it's a lot.
Yeah,
and the wording of San Francisco is
it's
weird.
just terrible. And also, don't forget where the name is on the back. Next, we're going to talk about Miami Heat, which is a jersey that leaked, and everyone was like, "Please, God, please let this just be a leak of someone
yours or
fan made." It is. This one is yours.
Mine. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about the Heat jersey. So for a couple years, we've had this thing with the Heat where everybody refers to them as Heat culture. They're guys that show up and play hard and kind of, that's their whole thing, and they follow the culture of it. So they really just went all in with it, and just their jersey just has Heat as the classic Miami Heat logo with the fire coming off the edge of the T in red. The jersey is black. The trim is red. The number is red. The lettering of Heat is red, and then the culture and the jersey name are both white. But it says Heat on the front, and then it says culture right below, and then it says number right below that. It looks not good. I think there's a lot better ways you could do this. I think going away from Miami Vice, which has been so successful for them, is fine if you want to branch out and do something different. I respect that. I think there's a way you could have showed Heat culture without just saying Heat culture explicitly. And I think the two words like on top of each other looks really weird. I don't like it at all.
There's 3 different fonts on this jersey.
Yeah.
It is so startling to look at. It looks like another one that just like someone photoshopped.
It looks like somebody took a black canvas and then got text boxes of Heat culture and a name and just dragged them in.
Literally. And didn't even change the size or anything. Like, they didn't know how to change the size. And even culture looks pixelated a little bit.
I think I could have designed a jersey for it.
And it's just, it's really bad. And also, I think if you look at, so we're looking at the jersey on the left side under the arm, it's just black. On the right-hand side, it looks like it fades black to red.
Yeah.
So it's not symmetrical.
And according to these other pictures, that is the case.
So it's red on one side and black on the other, and it doesn't.
Asymmetry can be good. Not in this case.
Not in this.
Not in a side being different than one other.
Yeah, that's just terrible. It really is one of the worst jerseys I think I've ever seen. It's an F tier jersey for sure.
Yeah, but where on the F tier?
But here's the thing. The name is above the number. So it's above the Golden State Warriors for me.
I put it in between the Grizzlies and the Bulls.
Also, look at it right now. So if you look at it side by side, the Chicago Bulls jersey and the Heat Culture jersey look like exactly they have the same colors.
Yeah,
Which is like, shouldn't that
not what
be
you wanna do.
avoided?
Yeah.
But anyway, so
We're about halfway through. So before we get to the next one, do you want to do a recap of where we are so far?
yeah, sure. Since you started, I'll do a little recap. So we've covered quite a, I'm not gonna count. We've covered probably about
16.
half of the jerseys. Yeah,
Yeah.
16.
More.
The Houston Rockets one is in the A tier, very cool and stylish.
S tier is empty.
S tier is empty. Perfect jersey.
They
Still
don't
to
exist this
still
year.
seen, still needs to be seen. B tier is not the best, pretty cool. We have the Detroit Pistons, Cleveland Cavaliers, Charlotte Hornets, Dallas Mavericks, Los Angeles Clippers. C tier, at least one thing that just kind of throws us off about the jersey: Boston Celtics, Atlanta Hawks, and the Los Angeles Lakers. D tier, it's not good. Brooklyn Nets, Indianapolis Pacers. Why did I say Indianapolis Pacers? Indiana Pacers. Not the Colts. Okay. And then F tier, whoever designed this should be fired easily. Memphis Grizzlies, Miami Heat, Chicago Bulls, Golden State Warriors, and Denver Nuggets.
I could say something that most of our jerseys, or the most tier we have filled is the B tier and the F tier tied right now.
It's so mid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. And next, we're gonna talk about the Milwaukee Bucks jersey.
Yeah. Paint us a picture.
So the Milwaukee Bucks jersey is blue, mostly blue. It has a kind of cream font going through the middle. It says Milwaukee. Has it also, so it's mostly blue, has cream, and then like a green trim around the neck and the shoulders.
And the shorts.
And the shorts as well. So the shorts are a little bit off. They're not asymmetrical exactly. The kind of cream matches in the middle, goes along the side of the body, then comes along the side of the shorts. And then the blue is not just a solid blue, it's a blue that kind of looks speckled. I think it's supposed to look like when you look at water and there's like light refracting in it, because they have like a lot of rivers that go through it. So this one isn't bad. I don't hate the colors on this one. They had a blue one last year, kind of blue, kind of wavy as well.
Yeah.
The fact it's not symmetrical is throwing me off. It was just white cream across the front. I think it would be like pretty high B tier.
Yeah.
The fact that it is kind of off,
and it goes down to the shorts and like a big line.
And then like the Milwaukee looks like the font looks so kind of fluid, whereas like
it's a little curvy. It's a little it's
and
better on the player than it does.
It does.
The picture.
Yeah, and then the number looks so blocky. So like I kind of wish it was a bit more fluid.
I definitely agree with that.
Like the font for Milwaukee. So I know originally I had it higher when I looked at it, but now I'm kind of like, I don't know, it's at least C tier because it is just throws me off about like how like asymmetrical it is. But what do you think?
Yeah, it's like I like the idea of this jersey. I like the speckledness. I think that's interesting. After you mentioned the block letter or the block number rather, that is really throwing me off. I really don't like the number font. The cream thing coming across and going down leads to the asymmetrical thing, which is I don't think as bad on this jersey as the Heat one. But it is a weird. It's all a little, I feel like I like the idea. I don't think the way they put the components together were executed as good as it could have been. I'm okay with this at like the back of the C tier, honestly. Like it's fine, but I actually don't think I like it more than any of the other C tier jerseys.
Yeah, I agree. And it is like when I first looked at it, it was like a B tier to me. But when you see it on the player altogether, it's one of those that looks, when you're watching them play, it might not kind of throw you off, but if you look at it too long, you're like, why is the whole like left side of his body cream? It just kind of throws you off. Although at least it doesn't say Cream City across the front.
Cream City was crazy.
That was crazy. But next we're gonna talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves jersey. Paint me a picture, Damon.
Sure. The Timberwolves jersey is interesting. It's going to be hard to paint a picture, but basically it is mostly this blue color in the front and on the shorts, but the very top of the jersey is white. It kind of fades into white. I'm actually having trouble trying to decipher what this is. Is it like smoky? Is it icy?
It's ice.
It's
So what
ice,
it is
okay.
like the ice is on top,
The
and
ice
then
is on top of
it
it.
like kind of gets clear through the bottom, and then
Yeah.
below it is like the ocean.
Interesting. It says Minnesota in some basic looking font I don't love on the front. I'm fine with the number font and the player name font. I think those look fine. I'm looking at over here on the other screen on the players. I think it actually looks better because the blue's a little more vibrant. I've noticed a lot of these jerseys, it's more vibrant in actuality than whatever the depictions were. I feel like the depictions are very, like you mentioned, some jerseys looking charcoaly, kind of dull. I feel like they look a little better in actuality. They're not as boring, so to speak. Yeah, I think I like it more on the player. Because when I was looking at this picture, I was like, man, this is an ugly jersey. And it's still ugly. It's a little better. Really, the thing I don't like is the Minnesota. The Minnesota, I don't know, like it looks out of place. Um, but other than that, I'm fine with the jersey. What do you think?
So I like this one.
The back's kind of weird.
I like this one quite a bit, but I'm going to tell you. So I like everything about the front.
Yeah.
To me, the front, I like the fact like they're doing something simple with like it's just white and blue, but they are doing kind of like a fading, like kind of ice, kind of like you're looking at the bottom, like you're under, you're like in a lake, frozen lake, and you're looking up through like the ice. I think that looks really cool. It's like very different than we've seen on a jersey. The reason I don't like the back,
I think the ice looks worse.
the ice looks a little bit worse, and also the white font of the name blends in with the ice, and it's hard to read.
It does.
It's really hard to read. Like I'm looking at towns. You could say anything. You could say tones, and I'd be like, I guess it looks like tones. Conley is hard to read. It's just the white. It should have been a different color. I don't know what color they could have done though. That's the hard thing about using this kind of design. I guess this is maybe the one jersey where like I guess maybe the name under the number would have made sense, but I would have hated it. But I would have hated
number
it.
would be hard to
It's
read.
the only one that would have made sense. Look, you're right. Maybe outlining the name in like blue or something like that is the number.
Yeah.
So like the front is cool. I don't like the back. They could have outlined the name. This is another one that I had a little bit higher when I first looked at it. It does look better on the players. But now I kind of want to put it like front to C tier, but that's me. I know it doesn't seem like you like it that much, so
I really like the blue on the players. Looking at these pictures over here, I think this little area that you're mentioning with the player name and the ice in the back is the worst part of the jersey. I feel like the front is subtle, like the ice change is subtle and it's pleasant. With the back, it's like it's a lot. There's a lot going on in the back. And then I mentioned the name thing. The Minnesota thing that I don't like as much. I'm fine with the front of C tier though. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I will say to me, it also throws me off.
Low.
It does throw me off too that like the shorts are just solid blue.
Nah, nothing done with the shorts.
Yeah, the shorts are literally just blue. There's nothing about it. Yeah. So yeah, just there's just that one thing about like the ice was a cool idea. Maybe just could have been done maybe a little bit just maybe they could do something again with it another year, but right now it's just not looking as good. But now I'm going to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans one. So this is a very interesting one. To me, this is one of the more interesting ones because they chose colors that they've never done before. Usually they do like a Mardi Gras theme, but this one they're going a little bit different. This year they went with a black jersey, like a neon green and purple look. Kind of reminds you of like kind of like voodoo and like New Orleans at night type thing, and
it's glow in the dark. I just hit the microphone. I hope that didn't sound super loud if you're listening.
Exactly. Hopefully it wasn't too loud. So it has NOLA across the front in the green font. It's mostly black, but it's outlined in green. The number is green, outlined a little bit of purple. This is a jersey. Looking at it just as it is, I don't love it. It's simple, a little boring, but when you see it on a player, it looks a little bit better. To me, it's kind of like just the back of C tier because I appreciate that they're trying something different. And like embracing New Orleans. Like this does feel like New Orleans to me.
Mm-hmm.
But also what is a really cool detail, I don't think it's on the jersey, but I think it's on the shorts. They have the Pelicans logo, but like we're using bones.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So because of that detail, I like it. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the glow in the dark theme. I think the leaving Nobla in black and just outlining it with the glow in green is kind of cool. I think the fonts are fine, the numbers are fine, the colors are cool. Nothing too crazy going on. Yeah, it's pretty basic, but I think it's you said C tier, back to C tier. I'm okay with that because I think it's like so basic.
Yeah, it really is. Like they could have done like I think putting like the skeleton pelican
Yeah.
instead of Nola, putting that above the 15 would have been sick.
Oh yeah.
I think that would have been really cool. But as it is now, it's fine. It's basic. Looks good on the player. It's black, so it matches like a lot of the other ones.
Mhm.
But they don't have a black uniform, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Not a color you typically associate with them.
Exactly. Next, we're going to talk about a team that has hit or miss city jerseys. That's the New York Knicks.
Yeah, so the Knicks city jersey, basically it is blue, a typical color for them. It has orange trim on the sleeves and neck, and then on the side it has orange trim but black, like a black block in the middle that follows down onto the shorts. So it's pretty standard in terms of Knicks colors. And then the number on both the front and back is orange with white trim. The name of the player is white. And then on the front, above the number, they have New York in both white and then like in orange, kind of overlapping it, which looks kind of jarring, I guess. Like it's a little weird to look at. I don't love it. I think like the jersey is like it doesn't really seem like a city jersey. It seems like the only thing that's different is the New York. Otherwise, I just think this is like a normal Knicks jersey. It is a pinstripe, which is cool. I do like that little detail. Yeah, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, so this is the first and only Knicks jersey with pinstripes, which is
Interesting.
just a little detail.
A little
that
trivia
I
for you
a
there.
little learned. I like this jersey quite a lot, and I would like it almost as much as the Houston Rockets jersey, but it's the double New York. Man, that like
It's a little weird.
the fact that it's just like it looks like I drank too much and I'm like can't see straight.
I don't get the purpose of it.
Like if it was New York that was just white outlined in orange, it'd be simple.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be looking pretty cool. I think I want to rank. I really like the New York Knicks colors. I love the orange and the blue and the pinstripes. I think just makes it cooler too. Like in the side, black is, maybe if it was just blue would have been cool. But I like the black. Maybe I wish they just made it just fully went simple. Just made New York simple.
Yeah, I hear you.
So how do you feel about it? Like, where would you put it on the list compared to others?
Looking at our list here, man, it's tough because most of the jersey I like more than these C tier jerseys, but the New York thing kind of throws me off, and that's the tier of stuff that has one thing I don't like about. So like maybe it's the very front of the C tier for me.
Yeah, I see that. I would probably put on the end of B, but
It's fine too.
But the definition is there's at least one thing I don't like about it.
It's not even like I'm looking at it here on Josh Hart. It doesn't look as bad as like when I'm looking at this picture.
Yeah, like you see the white a lot easier than like the orange on the player, which looks pretty cool.
I'm fine with the back of B tier.
Yeah, I also think they're trying to do like a New York, like New York City, New York type thing. So they're trying to put it twice, but
is that what it is? That makes sense, I guess.
they could have done it better. But next we're gonna talk about another jersey. And this is Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah.
And to me, I think
Can you describe this jersey?
They consistently have the worst city jerseys. I'm like, it's actually so easy for me. Like they always pick a bland color. Last year was just gray. It was just gray. This year it's gray again. and it has like so it's orange. Okay, so it's gray. There's two accent colors, it's orange and yellow. The old OKC logos are kind of within the black and the gray, which looks really strange. When you watch them play in it, it's hard to see. When I watched them yesterday,
Yeah.
but when you know what that is, it's just too many details. It's just too much.
Yeah.
And then the OKC kind of big and getting smaller looks so weird.
Yeah.
The name is under the number, and we're looking at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. His last name is so long, it wraps around like his whole body.
Yeah.
This is they consistently do terrible ones. This is another like the worst one yet for me. How do you feel?
Yeah, I try to keep this I feel like we try to keep this relatively family friendly. The jersey's fucking terrible.
Yeah,
it's so bad. The Thunder logo thing just looks like a convoluted mess. The OKC thing is like supposed to be 3D almost. It's like the same way it is on their actual logo. But it looks worse on this jersey. The orange and yellow, I feel like, is a terrible combination on the trim. The name below the number in this case, especially with someone like SGA, is like, yeah, that was a terrible decision. Yeah, I think this is the worst jersey we've looked at. I think it might be worse than the Nuggets one. It's so bad.
I'm okay with that.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Like it is. Like at least the Nuggets one has like the mountain and the colors are okay.
And the name's above a number.
This one is like
it has everything that we dislike about
there's
it.
actually nothing good.
Yeah.
Maybe it needs its own tier. It's like
It's
whoever made this should not be allowed near basketball anymore. Looking at this picture over here on the side, it doesn't look as bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like you can't tell like the low. It looks more like it's kind of grayish black and it's like fading in and out. But when you can see that the logos are going within it,
I like this one. So it was okay.
They're all bad. We're looking at past ones. They're all bad. I'm sorry. They're just bad. Now we're gonna talk about the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, Magic have an interesting city jersey this year. It says Orlando, but the A is replaced with a star, kind of like how the old Magic. That's how their logo was, with the star being the A. And then it's pinstripe, as most Magic jerseys seem to be. It's this blue color. It looks a little more blue over here on Paulo, my other screen. And then it has kind of some basic similar font of the numbers on both sides of the jersey. The names are pretty standard. The side stripe does this weird thing where it like hooks in. It like starts from the arm and then hooks in and then goes down. I don't like that.
I don't get why they did that
yeah,
side either.
It's just a weird choice for me. I think it's another simple jersey. It's not terrible. It's not great. I feel like I'm looking at our C tier. I feel like I actually don't like it as much as any of those jerseys, which is interesting because I don't think it's really bad. I just don't think there's a lot of good stuff. It's just like, it's kind of. What about you?
You know, the Orlando Magic, like even though they're a team I haven't really watched a lot, it seems like they do have some really cool jerseys sometimes. Like they have the classic jersey, which if you haven't
really good,
if you haven't seen it, look it up because it looks so cool. I wish that was a city jersey. It looks so cool. But the city jersey just looks uninspired. They're like, okay, we're gonna do the Orlando in like a weird Wild West font.
Yeah.
It also reminds me a lot of the Dallas Cowboys, which I hate.
Never want to be reminded of that.
Exactly. And it's just like this weird, like metallic blue, silver, and the idea is there. The pinstripes are cool. The star and the A is cool, but then it's like, why did you make it this dull color and the side like that? It's just when you have such a vibrant colors to use from, you choose like the most dull color. So I guess like D tier, right?
Yeah. Do you think it's better than the Nets or Pacers one?
I guess it's better than both of them because pinstripes is cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not good. That's what D tier is.
It's not good.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It is not good.
You ready to talk about another not good one?
Sure.
Okay. This is the Philadelphia 76ers.
76ers. Okay, so painting a picture of this jersey. The front of it says, instead of Philadelphia, it says City of Brotherly Love. The only word that's readable is brotherly, because City of and Love are all very small. And City of is above, and then Love is below the word brotherly. Then you have the number, which is white, but the number is then outlined inside of the white in red. So it's like you see the number twice, I guess. It's like if you had a block letter and then you colored all around it on the outside.
Yeah, so
whatever reason.
it's a callback to like neon signs that have like the inside of the numbers kind of like highlighting it, and also on the side there are those arrows. That's also a callback to like this like important sign that's outside the stadium or something.
Yeah, the arrows on the side are weird. The red trim I think is fine on the sleeves and the neck area, and then red line down the side. Looking at it over here, on a person, again, it's like one of those things where it looks very dull, but it's not actually as dull as this picture looks. That being said, I don't think it's great. I don't like the arrows. I don't really like the neon sign lettering or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. What about you? What are your thoughts on this?
So this is one that I initially disliked a lot looking at it, and then I read the meaning and I liked it more. And then I looked at the front again and was like, why is City of and Love so small
Yeah.
and off to the side? And it's just too much on one side, and I got the arrows on that side too, on the side of your body. And I think the back looks really cool. I like the back. So the back we're looking at just says Maxi, and it has like the zero. Like I think the idea of like the red within the white looks cool, kind of like that neon, like I said. But then it's like the arrows on the side. City of Brotherly Love looks terrible. It's just too long. It's just unnecessary, and they always want to keep putting in like their city jerseys, City of Brotherly Love. Put Philadelphia PHL, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't work. Or put City of Brotherly Love all in the same size font. They always want to make it this weird shape.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look good. It's just not a good jersey.
Where does it land on your tier list, do you think?
To me, it's D tier, maybe at the end.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Because even the colors are just like, oh, they're just black, red, and that's it. Whereas like why do I keep saying Indianapolis? Indiana at least has like the blue and the yellow. Next we're gonna talk about one of the, I think, at least to me, one of the cooler ones. It's gonna be the Phoenix Suns city jersey. So the city jersey is purple. You scroll, yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
The city jersey is purple. Across the front says L Valley. So I guess it's called. It's a it's an ode to their Hispanic heritage,
Sure.
and the side of it is, I think it's pretty cool. Kind of like what hot rods would have, like kind of this neon, like yellow, orange, pink, teal. The number is also a gradient. It goes from like yellow, orange to red. I don't hate this one. I think it's pretty cool. I don't think it's as cool as like the classic jerseys that they will wear this season.
Oh yeah, the classics are so
They're
good.
so good. But I like the L Valley.
Yeah.
And I like the gradient and the number. I think that's pretty, instead of just white or something, like I think that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have much more to say than, I think it's solid. The Suns have done they're a team that's consistently done pretty good.
Yeah.
City jerseys.
I think this is a good example of using your team colors to your advantage. Rather than a lot of teams this year went white and black with some of their jerseys. These guys said, let's keep our purple or orange, typically not a combination of colors, so it's going to be easy to work with. But like you said, I think the Suns constantly crank out good stuff. You mentioned the gradient, probably one of my favorite parts of this jersey, the gradient in both the number and on the side, going from yellow to red. I think that works really well. I think the purple jersey with the orange trim is nice. I think El Valley, I like the font it's written in. It's a good example of taking a phrase and putting it in a place that makes sense compared to some of these other jerseys we talked about that were like, okay, what are we doing here?
Some people should take some notes. This is a good one.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I could see an argument putting this in the A tier with the Rockets one. I think it's pretty good.
I think so too. I like the Rockets one more though because it is a bit more clean. But I think this one is really cool. I read some things that people didn't like it. Like it was too busy, and I don't think it's too busy. I think it's nice. It pops, and I think it's stylish too. It's cool.
Yeah, because like our B tier is basically like jerseys that are relatively basic,
Yeah,
but
but
like
safe.
well executed.
Yeah.
This is, I think, has a little more to it and is still well executed.
Yeah.
Whereas all the other ones that have more to it were not well executed.
Absolutely not.
Which is why they fell down the tier list.
Yeah, and the reason why the Houston Rockets jersey is better than the Phoenix Suns jersey is because the Houston Rockets have an astronaut dunking on the shorts.
That's true. I mean,
That's pretty.
It's hard to beat that. It's hard to beat that.
Yeah. So next, you did 2 in a row. I don't know if you noticed, so I'll do this one too.
I did 2. No, you did the Suns. Wait, I did 2 in a row?
Yeah, you did 2 in a row.
Did I?
You did. It's okay because I'm gonna do this one.
What did I do?
You did Orlando and you did Philadelphia. You started them both, and I did OKC. You don't think about it too hard.
Okay.
You did.
Sure.
So Portland Trailblazers.
My bad.
No, you're good. I was like, I'm just gonna take the next 2. So kind of basic. It's a black jersey, which they definitely have and they wear. Maybe kind of charcoal gray, black. It's hard to tell.
It's hard to tell these pictures because they always look different on the actual jersey.
Yeah, it looks black, but it says Rip City across the front, and it has this kind of Argyle kind of pattern that goes black and red.
Yeah.
The number's white with red trim, and then the back also has like the Argyle a little bit on the top of the behind the neck. Honestly, I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It's simple, but I like that it's not just red in Rip City. It like has this texture within it.
Yeah.
And also if you look at the shorts, the waistband is also the red Argyle. I think it looks pretty cool. Apparently it's a callback to like one of their best coaches that famously would always wear like a Argyle like suit or like pocket wear or something.
That's kind of cool.
And I like it. It's simple, but it has like a little bit of the pop with the texture. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm fine with the front. I think Rip City is a classic Blazers thing. They always have that on there. I think it fills the space nicely. I like the Y traveling under the rest of the word. I think that's fine. The Argyle, I think, looks pretty good. I like to me, the number doesn't even look white. It looks more clean.
You're right. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Which I like. I think it stands out a little bit. The red trim around it, I think, is nice as well. The thing that doesn't work for me is the Argyle on the back. The Argyle on the back seems a little misplaced. You could see over here in these pictures, it kind of just comes out of nowhere onto their back, which is weird. Like I feel like if it continued on the front or something, maybe that would be a little better. I don't know if that'd make the front too busy. It just kind of the back Argyle throws me up a little bit. I do like everything else with the jersey though. I like the Argyle waistband. I think that looks fine too. Keeping your colors, making them a little different. All in all, I'm pretty okay with the back Argyle isn't like too terrible to me. It's just like a little off-putting, I guess. But
yeah.
Overall, I think they did a fine job with the jersey itself.
So where do you want to put in?
Let's see. Looking at our tier list here. Ooh, that is tough. This is a tough one. I could see like a mid B tier argument. I could also see like a C tier argument if you really didn't like it for some reason. But
I kind of want to put it like, for me, like back at B tier.
Okay.
It's kind of like what I'm feeling. Yeah. Because I do like the Rip City. The back, I like that they incorporate the Argyle on the back. I wish they maybe did it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Instead of like, it is pretty like just out of nowhere. So the next one we're gonna talk about Sacramento Kings. So I mentioned this one a little bit earlier because this is another jersey that has something along that's like vertical. I want to hear your thoughts on this jersey first.
Sure. Yeah. Paint a picture. It's kind of a blue color. It has a white trim and then gray trim, even further inside on the sleeves and neck area, then white and gray trim down the sides as well. The front of the jersey has a number on the player's left side, and on the player's right side, it has a red stripe, and then it has Kings in vertical letters, and then it has another red stripe to kind of complete the side there. It's interesting. I saw the picture of it earlier, and I looked at these jerseys before, and I didn't hate it, but as I look more at it, I dislike it more and more. Because I just think like there's something about it. I think okay, here's I think what my issue with it is that the amount of space Kings is taking up vertically is so much more than the number is taking up that it's uneven both horizontally and vertically. And I think that's the part that's really bothering me. Like I feel like maybe if the number was a little further down, I would like it more, or if Kings was smaller font, so it didn't go down the entire length of the jersey, basically. I think that's the part that's bothering me. I like the colors though. I think the colors are fine. I think it's really just the space is kind of wonky on the front. What about you?
It's cool if they did the royal blue. I did like that, because they wear purple, purple, black, and gray. And I thought the royal blue was cool. It's also like the original color that they wore.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, but that vertical King's killing me. Plus, with the shorts are all blue, so it's just this white out of nowhere along your side.
Yeah.
It's asymmetrical that it hurts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it really. I want to like it because like the first pictures I saw of it, I thought it looked pretty okay.
Yeah.
But like, it just isn't, it just doesn't work. The vertical and the horizontal. Like I think it looks a little bit better when it has double digit numbers, but when you look at it with like Kevin Herter with number 9, it's like, okay, but why is there so much space now?
Yeah.
Whereas with like the double, it kind of fits a little bit better, but even then it's just not as good. Where do you want to put it? How do you feel?
I feel like this jersey really fits into the "this isn't good" category.
Interesting. Okay.
What do you think though? Do you think C tier? Do you think it should be a little
I was
higher?
gonna say back is here or front of D.
Okay, because I really do like the color.
The color's good. It is a good.
Nice.
It's better than just black or gray or charcoal. You know what I mean? Like compared to the
It's
other
not
ones.
boring.
Yeah.
Okay, I could also see a case for like. Now I'm looking at the C tier jerseys. I actually think I like this jersey more than all the D tier jerseys, and I think I like it more than like the Bucks jersey and maybe the Lakers jersey. So I could see it around that area as well.
I'm cool with that. Yeah, for sure.
Just put it right there for now in the C tier. One thing we don't like, you know what it is? It's the front of your jersey is so interesting looking.
Yeah, it's just if it's too off, it doesn't work. Next we're gonna talk about San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, they went away from Fiesta this time.
Yeah, so this is interesting because I think they've also had a really good history of city jerseys. I know you didn't like the Alamo Dome block lettering, and like this
lettering,
yeah. So the San Antonio jersey it's white.
Has a few white ones.
San Antonio in like a dark brown and an interesting font, kind of like a very like it's not Wild West.
It's very San Antonio-y though.
Yeah, it's a very San Antonio font. It's kind of hard to explain.
It is Western. Yeah.
It looks a little like comic-y. It looks a little bit like cartoony Western font. The number is the one thing I don't the accent colors are orange, which is very interesting. Different than like, other past years like the Fiesta, like the teal. And then the number is is orange with like dark brown outlining it.
It's very light orange.
Yeah, and the thing is like I don't hate this jersey, but I don't like the number. Like I don't like
that. It should be darker.
I don't like that the dark brown doesn't complete the number.
Yeah,
you see how
yeah.
So like when it's a circle, it totally surrounds the orange.
The one,
but when it's a one, it's like it doesn't finish the edges. It just kind of goes straight along it, and that kind of bothers me. If you don't look too closely at it, I think it looks pretty okay. It's basic, but
it's basic. I think it's it's basic like the B tier jerseys. but not as good as the B tier jerseys,
Yeah.
but not as bad as the F tier jerseys.
Yeah,
So
it's-
somewhere in the C or D tier, I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's not good. Like the D tier jerseys are not good. I think it's inoffensive for the most part.
Yeah,
Probably a C tier jersey for me.
I kind of wish the jersey was orange
That's
because
cool.
that way it would be different. So just white. I mean, like
I
every
think it's weird that it's a white jersey and the number choice they went is so bright
yeah.
because it feels like it should be darker.
Yeah, like I really wish it was like an orange jersey, like that light orange, and then dark brown coloring. It would have been simple, but it would look cool
Yeah,
with the font and or no one
That's
else
not
is
a-
wearing like orange or anything.
yeah. I mean, this
So
is the I like the Western kind of like I'm sure
like it is a very cool like Western font.
there's yeah
Like it does match.
inspired by the lights and sounds of the 68 World's Fair.
Oh, okay, it's the World's Fair font, yeah. So it does fit like the city. It's just I wish they made it a bit more unique than just like white. And
Where do you want to throw that?
I kind of want to put on the end of C.
End of C. Okay.
Yeah,
alright
just
with that.
because like it's just a little.
I'm out of room. Cool.
All right, we got 3 more jerseys to get through. This is almost a 3-hour podcast. I don't know if you noticed.
Is it actually?
Yep,
We didn't. We started this in 9:45.
it started at 10, so that's almost 3
We did
hours.
pause for some amount of time.
Like 10
Not that
minutes.
long, yeah. Okay. Sorry, Dom's like trying to tell me he wants to leave.
No. I'm just saying, like, if
Ah.
you're here for it, we're here for it.
We're here for it. Okay. Next we have the Raptors. Is it my turn?
Yep.
They have this gold jersey. It has like a pinstripe, but it's not straight. It's like
Jagged,
lightning bolt pinstripe, basically, is how I describe it. The trim is all black. The lettering is all black. The font is basic jersey font. They have the black maple leaf on the shorts, which is cool. Black all down the sides, shirt and shorts. I really like when teams have stripes all the way
Me
down.
too,
I feel
yeah.
like it's just kind of a good look.
Yeah,
A basic jersey, but I think a well executed basic jersey.
I totally agree with you. The more I look at it, the more I like it. It is a little bit basic. I wish it was more gold than like this tan brown.
Yeah.
I think that would have looked a little bit better, a bit more flashy, but like it's cool, their colors are like red and black and white, and they're like, we're gonna do like a gold.
Yeah.
And they've done that in the past, which is cool.
Yeah, it's a 10-year anniversary of the last time they did this.
Okay, that's very cool. Yeah, and the jagged pinstripes are a bit strange, but I don't think it looks bad.
Yeah.
By any means. And I do like Toronto's very simple, just across the front. Everything's easy to read. I like it. I think for me it's like B tier,
Yeah.
but wearing the B tier, I don't know, like maybe
My initial reaction of placing it wants to go like here-ish. This area.
I think you think in front of the Mavs or behind the Mavericks?
That's about where I have my qualms.
Maybe in front, because I think the color choice is nice. Like,
Yeah, I
even
like the
though it's
whole
not my
color.
favorite color, I do appreciate that they are doing something different, Next, we're going to talk about the Jazz. And the Jazz have also, their city jerseys are usually pretty cool and sick. This one already looking at it. Okay, so it's purple. It's like a watered down version of their really awesome mountain jersey that they wear. And it just has like the outline of the mountains in the front, Utah, and the number below it in white, and the back, you guessed it, has the name under the number, and it looks terrible. It looks so bad.
Yeah, it actually is more. It does bother me more. I feel when it's a double-digit number, I think it bothers me more.
And also, the last name is longer.
The
You
last
know what I
name's
mean?
longer,
Like it
yeah.
takes up the whole back. The last name wraps
It
around
makes
the
the number
side.
look really big.
Yeah, so it's like, they had such a good one, and they're like, let's just dumb it down a little bit, and also put the name under the number. So for me, it's easily, I don't want to say D tier, but I think it's D tier for me.
You make a good point about it being like a watered down version. It has the mountain on there. Great. That's awesome. We love the mountain in Utah. I like the purple. I think the purple looks nice. Looking at this version over here or whatever, that's kind of like, I don't know, looks like a neon-y version. Looks a lot cooler.
Yeah.
No, I think it's like basic in a way that I didn't think it could. Like, it has a mountain on it, so I automatically think it'd be cool, but the rest of the jersey is so basic.
Yeah.
And so badly executed, I feel. The name below the number, I feel like, is more jarring. Maybe it's the purple. I don't know. Something about it is bothering me more with this than ones we talked about previously. I like the mountain. I'm fine with the Utah font. I think it's not as good as their other jerseys. I I think it's better than the D tier jerseys.
Okay. The more I look at it, the more I'm like,
I feel like the mountain is good.
yeah.
It kind of propels it for me. Whereas the other ones are like, God, these jerseys are just bad. I feel like this one's not bad, but it is like, eh.
Back in C tier.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
You want to put it higher, like above some of the
No,
other?
I actually like the Spurs and the New Orleans ones.
Okay, I like it too. All right. This one, last one. We're on the last one. Washington Wizards City jersey. For me, it's pretty simple, but it's your turn, so I want you to do it.
Okay. Last but not least is a common expression, but that may not be the case here because this is a bad jersey.
Terrible.
It is part black, part gray, and there's a red line separating the black and gray areas on a diagonal, and then that line continues on the shorts, so it's very asymmetrical in a very bad way. And then the font of the numbers are like this kind of tealish, and it has orange on it, and then the sleeves are like a hybrid of it's like orange and teal graffiti.
You know why? It's to represent like the statues that are bronzing. So like it's so copper is like it's like the Statue of Liberty. It's like supposed to be bronze, so that's what it's supposed to be. It's like you see the copper or bronze, and then you see it like becoming oxidized.
And then it says the district in orange, and then of Columbia in that teal color too.
Yeah, you think 4 colors are enough for
this
a city
jersey?
jersey?
Is fucking terrible. I really don't like it. It's definitely in the F tier for me. Just where in the F tier is the question. What about you?
This is it's definitely F tier, but the thing about this jersey is that it has potential because here's the thing. I like the font of
crazy.
I'll tell you why it has potential. So I like the font of the District of Columbia. It's very like
I do like it.
Independence, Declaration of Independence, like that, like old 1700s fonts. The 33, like the number, it was like Kuzma's jersey, that's why I said 33. Like that, like old timey kind of old English font is cool. And instead of making it going from like this bronze to teal, just pick one of them. I would say pick the teal.
I like the teal.
Yeah, pick the teal. Make the jersey black. Maybe make the lettering red.
Get rid of the gray and red part.
Yeah, or definitely not the triangle across
the
front.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even actually notice that until we see it on the players. It looks so bad.
Oh my god.
And you made the Nike symbol red. It's like, why are you throwing in 4 colors? It's bad. It's whoever made this is they should be fired. So where it's so hard, like I guess they're
I see the potential.
It's the potential that makes it not the worst one.
Yeah,
it really is that. And
this is a crazy picture.
Yeah,
Blue Wave.
Kyle Kuzma, he's the best starting 5 in the league. All right,
man.
So we
did it.
So we did it. Our tier list. It's not as bell curvy as I thought it would be.
Yeah,
you know why? Because most of these city jerseys aren't that good or not inspiring.
We have 2 in the A tier and none in the S tier, so we got a lot of middle competition here.
Yeah, the thing is, there's just no perfect. Like, there isn't just like that one that like I want in my closet or I want to wear. You know what I mean?
I mean, as a Rockets fan, I'm good with this H-Town one.
I'm cool with that one too,
especially compared to the rest of them.
Yeah, so I'm going to see the Rockets play next Friday. I'm going to see if they have some deals and stuff because I do like this one quite a bit. At least like maybe like a hoodie or like a shirt or something. The Rockets always have a good.
Oh yeah. They got the $12 game item of the game.
Exactly, that's what we'll be looking for.
Yeah, let's recap it real quick.
Recap it, yeah.
So city jersey tier list. That's what we just did. Make sure you look up the jerseys. Maybe come watch the video on YouTube or Spotify if you're an audio only listener. I know if you're driving or cleaning, it's not super easy to watch. A tier we have, S tier we have nothing. No perfect jerseys. A tier we have H-Town Rockets, Phoenix Suns. We like those a lot. B tier we have Pistons, Cavs, Hornets, Raptors, Mavericks, Clippers, Knicks, and Blazers. C tier, we have the Timberwolves, Celtics, Hawks, Lakers, Kings, Bucks, Pelicans, Spurs, and Jazz. D tier, we have the Magic, Nets, Pacers, and Philadelphia 76ers. And then the F tier, we have Grizzlies, Heat, Bulls, Warriors, Wizards, Nuggets, and Thunder.
Yeah. And that's it. That's city jerseys.
Bad city, more C and below than B and above for sure.
And I gotta say, when they released this, I was so giddy. I just love looking at like these new jerseys and stuff.
We always talk about them.
You know, I do wish that like when a team would find the city jersey for them, that they would keep it for a while. Like really, like, you know, like how long did the Phoenix Suns keep like the Valley, Rally the Valley? Like those were pretty cool. The Utah Jazz had like the very like iconic like mountain one.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many teams had these like really you know, iconic city jerseys that could be like their actual uniforms. And I don't know, a lot of these just kind of watered down, uninspired, and like there are better versions out there type thing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like why I'm a little bit let down. But you know, it was still fun to look at and to go through.
Yeah. You know, I think part of the issue is like you've seen so many good jerseys and they've made so many good jerseys over time, you're going to run out of options.
Yeah.
So maybe stick with what's working and you can modify it a little bit, but don't totally alter a design and make something that's not going to look very good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh, this has been a long podcast, apparently, according to Dom.
Well, the thing
I guess it is 1 a.m. So
yeah, the thing is, you know, when it's in person, it's a lot easier.
we're just kind of
it's easier to kind of keep talking and whatnot. And also it's a weekend and you know, I'm basically on vacation for a little bit. So
you did want to put originally, if you remember this, you wanted to put a 1 hour time limit on our podcast.
1.5 hour time limit.
Yeah. I don't think we even hit that ever, actually.
It's always been at like 140, 145.
Yeah.
But you know, when you have so much to say,
and we're just talking.
and you know, when we're as smart as we are, it's tough.
When you have so much analysis of the game.
But here's my question, Damon. How am I gonna take this shot?
How are you gonna take the shot? Well, first I'm gonna adjust the camera so you can see the rim.
There you go.
There it is.
Perfect.
So Dom, as we've talked about in our podcast before, he does not have this set up at home where from his computer he can kind of easily do one of these. So he is going to do it here for the first time. He you know, has hate the 2 times that I made the shot, and now he's going to see it's not so easy, especially when you're not looking and you have to try to angle yourself. I mean, and feel free to, you know, you can get some, you can calculate, you can turn around if you need to.
You're ready for me to make this in one shot.
If you make it, I'll scream so loud into this microphone. It'll be crazy and everyone will hate me for it.
All right, here we go.
All right. He's cocking back. He's cocking back. Oh, that was not terrible. It went into the closet.
Well, you know,
respectable effort for your first try for sure.
Not bad. Yeah, I'll take it. Honestly, I was hoping for better, but I'll take it.
What are we going to talk about next time? Aside from, we'll talk about week 3, I'm sure.
Yeah, so we're talking about week 3. I'm also going to talk about the games I go to.
Yeah.
My experience.
Are we going to have any sort of like big topic that we're going to touch? Like we did rankings for jerseys. We did awards last time.
What do you I actually don't. Oh, well, I mean, we touched about the in-season tournament, talked about the courts. Talk about the jerseys.
It may just be all reactionary.
It may just like just news. Yeah. You know, like whatever happens and what's exciting.
Unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, maybe we'll think of something we want to talk about. Maybe we can spotlight a player that we're really into, like watching right now. But yeah, you know, if you have any ideas, we would love for you to let us know.
Comment on the YouTube video. Even if you're listening on Spotify, go to the channel 2-Man Game. If you can find it, it's 2-man hyphenated game
with Damon and Dom.
With Damon and Dom. Should I put that in the name? Do you think? Should I put it like?
Might be easier to find. I don't know.
I don't know.
Let us know if you think it'll be easier to find.
Let us know if you like our rebranding, our logo, our change. How you thought, you know, first time we've ever done something like this in person. I really enjoyed it. This has been a blast for me. Like you said, I feel like time is just flying because we're just kind of sitting here chatting.
And let us know if you want to do it more, so then you can pay us to fly back and forth from
every
Austin
podcast
to LA. Yeah.
No, that's not true. I lied. But this was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with this. I think this was an ultimate success for sure.
And let us know what city jerseys we are totally wrong about, which ones you think
Ooh,
you're totally
yes.
right about. Everyone's style is different. So if we said we didn't like one, but you love it, hey, wear it, like wear to your heart's desire. I just might be like, really? The Wizards one?
Send us a picture of you in the Wizard City
Please.
jersey.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
I'll print it and put it back here somewhere.
Yes, and we'll refer to it all the time.
All the time. You'll be a celebrity on two-man game.
And who doesn't want that? Well, for Dom here,
I'm Damon.
and I'm Dom, and this has been Two Man Game.
Buckets.